It hits your ears. It's Ben and Woods, 97.3 The Fan. The Friday intro would feel better after a victory last night. Lot to talk about from that game, certainly. But we've got 4 hours to do it, and we've got one hell of a show planned for you. Great, great guests today. And the thing about these guests is they're funny, they're lighthearted. So if you want to be pissed off and you want to scream at us, or it's our fault, scream at the manager, hold some feet to the fire, be accountable, all that. Listen, I think you give us a shot because I'm pretty fit to be tied this morning about last night's dismal performance at Petco Park. I'm Woodsy. That's Paul Reindl. He's our executive producer. Good morning, Paul.
Good morning.
You had your hoops last night?
I did.
Last game?
We got one more and then playoffs.
How'd you do? What was your stat line?
I didn't.
You F
keep
around
track.
and get a triple-double?
No.
Oh, sorry.
It was weird. I felt like I'd played better than the last couple of weeks as far as like I was more aggressive towards the hoop and all. Just didn't have the touch.
No touch last night.
Scored like 4 points.
4 points.
Probably should have had 8 or 10.
Okay.
But,
yeah. So it's tough.
We were up by 20 for
Oh, you won.
Oh yeah.
Good.
We won.
Right.
We were
What's
up
the
by
record?
20. We are 5-3.
5-3 is damn good.
Yeah.
That's damn
We
good.
got one more game we should win, and that'll put us 6-3, second place heading into playoffs.
In the playoffs.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it. Benjamin R. Higgins, your friendly neighborhood sports anchor, our Secretary of Homeland Exploration, joins us this morning as well. Good morning, Benjamin.
Good morning. You're fit to be tied.
Yeah, fit to be tied.
What do you think that means? I mean, I know what it means.
I mean, I'm not fit.
You're agitated.
I think I know.
So
I'm in a perfect position for you to tie me up because I'm so mad.
is that what it,
I
is
think
that
so,
probably
yeah.
what it means?
Man,
like
I'm
you're
fit
so
to be tied right now.
You're moving around so much that you're just ready that you need someone to tie you up
Yeah.
so you can like be still and calm down. You're fit to be
I
tied.
am fit to be tied. Fit to be tied. Yeah, I'm a perfect candidate for you to tie me up and tie me to the chair and not let me tie.
I'm mixed. I feel like the Padres missed an opportunity last night. We'll talk about it. But I also feel like a month ago, that game was over in the first inning.
All right, that I agree with. There are no moral victories, though. Congratulations.
No, but
on
there are
hitting.
series victories.
Yes, we got a series victory. You're absolutely
So
right.
again, it's part of my mixed feelings about the San Diego Padres.
Keep
right
letting
now.
these games slip away, and you keep letting these games slip away. Listen, again, it's just that hole. You dig a little bit out of it, and then you put some more back in, and then you dig a little bit more, and then you put a little bit more back in for this team. And lots of opportunities to win that game last night. We were texting about it. I mean, at one point, we kind of figured out they should have about 11 runs right now, like no question. We were a foot away from taking the lead and probably never looking back at that point. But what is going on with your camera has a mind of its own.
It is a little bit.
It's bobbing and weaving.
Yeah, it's kind of going in and out a little bit. Let me unplug it and then
Unplug it
in.
and then replug it.
That always works, right?
Blow on it.
There you go. Now it is working perfectly.
No, now it is turned over to me.
All right.
There we go. You can watch us on YouTube. Go to youtube.com and search Ben and Woods, and then you will find us. You can click on the link. Hey, smash that subscribe button too, and give us a like. That's what I've been told to say
Let's
by
talk
management.
Let's talk
And
about our
management is
guests this
Paulie.
morning. You mentioned we got some funny people joining us. I'm a little intimidated by our guest lineup today.
Why is your camera not
Am I the only one
working?
that's a
Yeah,
little
why?
intimidated by the guest lineup today?
No, why would you be?
I just feel like we've got, a fairly famous Hollywood celebrity coming in studio. That's always a little nerve-wracking to me.
Yeah.
And then we have Mark Grant, who is obviously great. I love Mud, but he's uncaged. He's untamed. He's wild. You just don't know what he's going to say, what direction it's going to go. We've gone, we've had conversations with Mud that go all over the place.
Yeah, he sang show tunes in here. one
Exactly.
time. Yeah.
So I'm just a little nervous about what is going to happen in today's show.
No, I think it's going to be great. Mudley's going to bring the heat. He always does. And it'd be nice to catch up with him. It's been a while since we caught up with him.
He's the type of guest would have been great after a win, but he's also great after a loss, right? Like he can make us feel a little bit better.
Yeah, for sure.
But either way,
For
love
sure. No one's mentioned me and Paul are wearing matching shirts today, which is
not just the same like color.
It's the same brand.
Literally the exact same.
I got these.
shirt.
It's like a team uniform.
It is. Both of us wearing pink t-shirts.
Yeah.
Did you do yours because it's City Connect Day?
Yeah.
It's embarrassing.
It's not a great color for me. So
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't think I look great in.
I think you would look good in this color. I
don't-
like pink.
I'm not sure.
Get you one. We can
Pink
wear-
is
we can all
the,
wear these on Fridays.
Pink is is the new white.
I have a dress shirt that, I mean, if I'm in a full suit and have like a darker
yeah.
jacket, but if it was just the pink, that's a lot of pink on me.
Yeah, nobody told you that we were doing pink.
Nobody
today.
told either of you either.
No,
You just
we're-
did it on your own.
Both the same brand, fresh, clean tees. Well,
Like literally the
brand.
exact same shirt.
yeah, that we like. You get a lot of good t-shirts for a pretty reasonable price. And they have different packages you can buy. The
Just
all
like a-
black.
I get like a 5-pack every.
The last one I got was about a 10-pack, and it's been fantastic. And I got rid of a bunch of old turd t-shirts that I don't wear anymore. So I got these fresh. They're fresh, and they are clean. And
Yeah, love
there it
them.
is. So that's it. Guy says we are the new Mean Girls. Yeah, we're all dressed in pink.
On Wednesdays
Paulie.
we wear pink. On Fridays we wear pink.
Yeah. Well, my folks got in town yesterday. No problem. Timed it out great. Flew in from Dallas and got them picked up at the airport. The airport is a madhouse yesterday, as it usually is. But I thought about all the people flying into San Diego. Many of them potentially for the first time, and they had heard tales of beauty and the weather there. Oh my God, it's 72 all year, right? You guys are
It's like
gonna
Hawaii
you're
on the
gonna-
West Coast.
You're gonna love it. You're gonna love it. And you're not on an island. And you can go up to see other. You can go to LA. You can go to Disneyland. There's all these things you can do. Saw people walking out of the terminal, looking around like, oh wow. I mean, it was gray. It was kind of drizzly a little bit. It was like, this sucks. And picked them up though, and I went and played some golf with my dad. My mom had lunch with my wife and my mother-in-law. They had a grand old time, and then they got to play with the kids and
Did
all
they
that.
go to
So-
Grand Old Barbecue?
They did
That
not-
would-
they did
that
not
would
go to
be-
Grand
that
Ole
would be a
Barbecue.
grand old time.
but that would be it was great to see my folks. We had such a good time out on the golf course, my dad and I. And by the way, Ben, on the back nine, I was dead even with my dad. Not on the throw the front nine out.
Throw the front nine out. That's
So
what
on the back nine. The first 7 holes, we were in a deadlock. I've never beat him on 9 holes in a row in my life. And I'm like, I looked down at the
was
card.
he feeling the pressure? Or
I
were
don't.
you
He
feeling
he
the
didn't
pressure?
say anything.
Yeah.
He did not say a word. But I looked down at the card. I go, huh. And then he got a birdie. I got a double. And then he got a par, and I got a double to end it.
I assume you've beaten him in other sports over the years as you were growing up, one-on-one basketball,
No,
things
no,
like that. No, you've
never.
never beaten him in anything.
No.
Your dad has always won.
Oh,
You
I
never
mean,
let-
I could strike his ass out in 3 pitches right now,
Right.
but that's about it. But he's also, 70 years old almost, so I'd be embarrassed if I couldn't. But I could K him up today. But that's it.
But he wasn't a guy. He wouldn't go easy, let you win in any competitions.
No. Are you
Card
kidding?
games, board games, anything like that. He's always playing to win.
Play to win. 100%. I mean, he's very encouraging. But he also,
What's your philosophy on that as a parent?
I let Bo win sometimes.
Let the kids win
Yeah.
sometimes to build their confidence,
Yeah.
which I think is a very valid.
I also take him deep sometimes.
I think it's a very valid. You don't want to constantly discourage someone. Sometimes it takes a taste of success to, foster more, practice, wanting to do more, wanting to be better. But I oftentimes hear from, professional golfers, whatever players, like, oh yeah, my dad was so competitive. He never let me win once. And I just kept working harder just so I could beat him one day. But he would laugh and he would never go easy on me, never once would let me up. And I'm the man I am today because my father would never let me win at anything growing up.
No doubt.
And I don't know what the right parenting strategy would be on that.
Well, it's Father's Day weekend this weekend. So first of all, happy Father's Day to all the good dads out there doing their thing. It's a very difficult job, a very important job. Do give the moms a lot of credit, but you had your weekend. This is our weekend. This is our time to shine. And listen, if you're a crap dad, you can still make it right. There's still time. Even if you're a crap dad, make the phone call today. Make the effort. You can get back in. Kids are very resilient. And you're human, and they realize that. They realize that at an early age. And I can be an absolute crap dad at times. So I am always constantly trying to make sure I'm doing the right thing. But with that one, Ben, I mean, look, when I'm throwing batting practice to my son, I don't throw it as hard as I can. I want him to hit the ball, right?
But that's not competition. That's
No,
practice.
But if he pitches to me, he throws as hard as he can. And if I want to take him yard, I take him yard. And he laughs, and it doesn't break his spirit. He thinks he kind of gets a kick out of it. But no, man, it's sometimes you do need to let them get a little taste of what success is.
Eric K in the chat says, my dad never let me win. And I think it really brought out my competitive nature in a good way. I got used to losing. So when I did, it wasn't an emotional
It's a great
shock.
point. And especially in baseball, like you're not going to get hits 10 out of 10 times. You're just not. It's not going to happen. So you're going to fail your ass off all the time. Teaching them how to fail a little bit is almost more important than teaching them how to win.
I mean, in baseball, it's not a one-on-one game generally, so you're not letting someone win. In golf, I always, if I'm playing golf, I'm trying to shoot the lowest score possible.
Right.
It's not like, I'm going to make a double bogey to let someone else win. I think it's basketball one-on-one where that's the big head-to-head. Do you block every shot, or do you let them get a few off here and there?
He's 3 feet tall.
Well,
so
exactly.
at this point, there's not much. If he tries to back me down in the post, he's not gonna give him an easy look.
Tennis, that's one where you could let them
You
win a
gotta-
little bit.
yeah,
Or go
yeah.
easy on them, or just continue to pound the ball as hard as you can.
Spinning it, backspin. No, I
Ping
mean,
pong.
I love this weekend. It's a very, very special weekend for the dads out there. So hey, tip my hat to all of you guys. Keep doing the right thing. Some of the unsung heroes out there are some of the dads I know.
Hope you guys have a great weekend.
You're a dog dad.
Oh, I guess we could do that.
That's the same thing. I've been told. I see it on social medias all the time. It's the same thing.
I'd say it's not the same thing.
Yeah, are you sure?
Yeah.
I promise you. Until that dog crawls
Would
in
you
bed
like
with
us
you
to
and
just call
vomits
it, like,
into your mouth. When he-
Adult,
could argue-
adult men's weekend, so you
adult
can
men's
Yeah,
weekend.
great.
you can participate as well.
I could argue
You
that
could've.
having a blind,
You could've.
deaf, 18-year-old dog is the closest
It's not.
a dog could be,
It couldn't-
but it's still not anywhere
it
near the same.
Imagine if that 18-year-old dog said to you, Dad, you're a jerk, and then vomited all over the floor, and then took his doo-doo and spread it on the ground.
2 out of 3.
Yeah,
2 out of 3.
So I said it's the closest.
Just chaotic. It's chaotic.
Oh man.
You can take a dog and say, you know what? Take your ass outside and stay there. You can't do that to a kid. I can't put my kids out there. Get your ass outside and stay there. I'll come get you when I'm ready.
Bo, it's time to go in your crate
Get
for
in
the
your
night.
crate. God.
No, I do want to say you guys are both great dads.
Thank you, sir.
And I hope you have great weekends. My dad's not in my life, and my wife's dad is no longer with us, so it's a tough weekend. I know your wife can relate to that as well. I do think it's important to just say that I do think about all of those people as well.
No doubt, man. No
On this
doubt.
weekend, it's a all you see is advertisements and gift ideas for Father's Day, and I can't relate to her in that sense, but
But it's
so
similar.
tough. Similar.
Yeah, similar.
similar but not the same.
Right.
Man. I mean, it's been an emotional week already. It's going to be an emotional weekend, and so my heart is out for anybody else that's in that boat. She posted something, I think, and she said, yeah, a couple people were like, oh, I'm now in the club over the last 12 months. And yeah, my heart reaches out to
Yeah,
them.
it's tough. It's always tough around my house as well. I'm so lucky to have both my parents. They're both in town. I think they're listening right now. So love you guys. Thanks for making the effort to come out here. Your grandkids are very excited to spend the day with you. And the good news is, yes, I can't take my kids and put them outside, but what I can do, I can 100% dump them off with my parents and say, see you guys in 24 hours. And that's exactly what's going on today as soon as we get out of here. So I did want to say again, happy Father's Day to all you guys. My dad, Gary, couldn't do what I do without you.
My dad, Steve,
Oh,
best, just
the goats.
absolute best.
Two of the goats,
Yeah,
man.
I got lucky.
Sure.
I got lucky. For
I don't think
sure.
that's a coincidence. You guys are both good dads, had good dads.
Had good dads. Yeah. It works that way.
But you don't have to be a bad dad if you had a bad dad.
That's true. You
No,
can go
you can
the
still
other.
I'm
be-
just
you
saying
can
it's
go
not,
the
not a
other way.
coincidence,
Yeah.
though.
No,
You guys had good role models.
it's good. Yeah, it's good. You just follow what you saw, and it makes it a lot easier. I
Unless
think, going
what you
forward.
saw was absolutely horrendous.
and then you have to go the other
opposite
direction.
way.
And you go, I'll do everything
It's
differently.
kind of a win-win.
All right, so coming up this morning, this first hour,
We're still talking dads. We're going to be talking the San Diego Padres.
yes,
all
we
right?
will
The
talk
dads,
about the fathers in
daddies.
town.
the daddies.
And the last night's disappointment, unable to complete a 3-game sweep again. Our Padres wrap up coming up at the bottom of the hour. And then in our 7 o'clock hour, For the second time in Ben and Woods history, we are supposed to be joined in studio
Let's go.
by actor, comedian, former Saturday Night Live cast member Jay Moore, going to be with us in studio now.
That had
Yeah.
to be like in our first 6 months,
Yeah,
right?
it was
It was
early.
early on at the old station. We had him on for like 30, 40 minutes.
Now, he's
I
got a show
love
this
him.
weekend, correct?
Got a few.
He got a few
Yeah.
shows in San Diego. It's on a Hollywood celebrity time. I'm never comfortable locking in the exact moment, but we were told 7:00 ish hour to expect Jay Moore to drop by and hang out for a while, which
I
is
mean,
really cool.
He loves sports. He's Lakers royalty now. Your Lakers
Are they
royalty.
going to have a Lakers royalty,
a
off?
royalty off? I should just see myself out of the convo and let them just
I
chop
was
it
born
up.
into the family. He's
marrying
he's
into
kind
it.
of marrying into the family.
Yeah.
If you hadn't heard that news,
I can't wait to see Jay, man. He
Jay
was
and
so cool.
Jeannie, right?
Yeah, Jay and Jeannie are
Together,
they're
they're an
engaged.
item.
Yep. Yeah, an item. This
An
is
item.
1955 here. Yeah, they go down to the shop and get malteds on the weekend.
Maybe they'll go together to the debutante ball.
Yes, correct.
Craig Elston will join us as he always does on Friday with his Crossing Streams television recommendations. That'll be sometime probably after Jay Moore. And then, as we mentioned, Mark Grant on a Friar Friday. Mudcat will help us wrap up the show at 9:35 this morning. Always a fun morning when Mud joins us. So, yeah, this should be a really good Friday edition of Ben and Woods. Stick around. We will be going until 10 o'clock this morning. Daily Ditty selection coming up next. Woods gets to pick another artist that he has met in person and play some music when we come back here on San Diego's #1 sports station. Let's get our first check with Kelly Danick in traffic this morning on 97.3 The Fan. I just found out that Woods is that guy.
That
in
guy.
a good way. That guy who will send over a bottle of wine, champagne to another table at a restaurant.
First
Good story, though.
First and only time I ever have done that.
Never. This is the one time
Yeah.
you did that.
Yeah, I've
Good
never
story,
done that
though.
before. I don't even think I ever did it to like a woman.
It's creepy if you did that. A little
Well,
bit.
not in our day, it wasn't.
No.
Now it is because she's like, "What did you put in it?" Right? But back in our day, it was, "Oh, I'd like to buy that young." It's you always see it in the movies, right?
It's not just creepy in that what did you put in it? It's also somewhat maybe disrespectful and like, well, you think that I can't choose my own, that you have
Right.
to pick for me and
Yeah,
send
yeah.
something over for me.
But back in every 80s sitcom, 90s movie, it was bartender. It's a young lady at the end of the bar. I'd like to buy her a drink. And oh yeah, no problem. And then she looks over and smiles, and you raise your glass and smile and see where the night takes you. But I didn't do that to a woman. I did it to a band. I did it to Queens of Stone Age when they were playing the Wiltern in L.A. I went for dinner before at the steakhouse next door, and I walked in, and there they sat at the table with Jack White. And it was like the coolest thing I'd ever seen. And so I didn't know what to do.
That
And
was awesome.
I certainly was not going to, hey, fellas, have a great show tonight. I was not going to do that. I definitely. And so I thought, what's a classy move? So I sent over 2 bottles of champagne, and Josh from Queens and Jack White came over and said hello, got to shake their hands, and blew my mind. And it was one of the coolest things ever. But I played that one. That's Paper Machete by Queens of the Stone Age off their brand new record that's out today, In Times, New Roman. And I know what I'm listening to all weekend. It has been so long since we had new music, 6 years, in fact, since we've had a new record for them. And I love it so far. I've listened to a lot of it this morning, and that song absolutely kicks ass. And there you go. That wraps up the theme this week of bands that you've met.
The
Ben and Woods.
The Wiltern Theater, just a couple of miles from the site of this year's U.S. Open, LA Country Club.
You have an uncanny ability to wedge in golf into anything
It's
you talk.
honestly surprising.
I,
Still.
I could say like, I was making love with my wife last night, and Ben would say, if we're talking about holes, let's talk about the hole at the number 4 at LACC, because that to me is the best hole on the course. I didn't watch any yesterday. I wanted to.
Well, you were playing.
I
That's
had
okay.
family
That's-
and golf, and I was checking my phone to see how it was going.
People are mad.
People are mad that people are doing good.
People are mad that the scores were so low yesterday. It didn't feel like a U.S. Open. You had a pair of 62s, both. I mean, they played the U.S. Open 122 times. This is the 123rd U.S. Open. In the first 122, a total number of 0 golfers shot 62. Yesterday, in a span of 22 minutes, both Ricky Fowler and Xander Schauffele posted 8 under 62s in the first round at LA Country Club. The course simply was not playing that tough. And, they said it's a difficult course. It's long, deep, rough, but with the June gloom and the soft greens, because it just hasn't been that hot to cook the greens and make them hard and fast, it was just too easy for the golfers to throw the ball up at the green, spin it back to the hole. There were 2 hole-in-ones yesterday. Lot of shots that were just going in from all over the place. And it's a leaderboard that looks like just kind of a regular old PGA Tour event, with Dustin Johnson at 6 under, a couple shots back. Rory McIlroy is at 5 under. He at least looked like he was playing a U.S. Open on the last hole. Did you see he whiffed one on the last hole?
One.
You don't see that from a pro golf. He was in the rough by the green and took a swing and
Missed it.
just went right under the ball, essentially. It may have wiggled like an inch or so, but he didn't go anywhere. Still made a bogey, though. His only bogey of the day. So Rory's in good shape as well. But I mean, it's a good leaderboard. Isn't that what you want? A really good leaderboard, as opposed to just an artificially even high score, 1 over. This is so tough for these guys.
Yes, I do want that. But speaking of whiffing, I think our manager whiffed a couple times last night. I know our players whiffed a couple times last night. And I think the San Diego Padres in general whiffed last night in a big way, in a big, big, big way. And now I think we've set ourselves up for a little bit of disappointment here.
Well, there's certainly some second guessing that can be done on the decisions from last night's game, both in game and pre-game as well, about deciding who is going to be the starting pitcher and how they went about that game yesterday. So we will break it all down. We've got our Padres wrap up, Jesse's highlights of what could have been, really, Woods, to me, one of the great wins of the season
That's
for the San Diego
exactly
Padres.
what I was going to say, man. I was texting you last night. What did I say? Do you remember?
You really want
I
this
said
one.
I want this one.
And I said we all
do, but I wanted to see that this team could mount a comeback and get it done. And man, did they get close, but we are not playing horseshoes here. We are playing baseball. You had a chance to sweep. First time this season, yes.
Third 3-game sweep. Yeah, they've had that 2-game sweep in Mexico City.
It is June 16th. We have not swept the Royals. We have not swept the Guardians. We have not swept anything. You had your chance last night, and you blew it.
All right, we'll come back with our Padres wrap-up.
You
want to
blew
call
it!
us 833-288-0973. Ben and Woods on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
I used to love Jay Moore Sports. I did. I listened to it all the time.
He's done a few other things as well in his career, and he's got some shows in town this weekend. And kind enough to stop by in studio. That'll be coming up in the next half hour or so. I had a lot of angry Padres fans in my Twitter timeline. I know you're not on Twitter
Oh,
anymore.
slept like a baby.
The vast majority, though, blaming the manager,
Yep.
coaching staff
Yep.
for mismanagement, bad decisions.
Yep.
This is 10 billion% on the coaches. They aren't making the right choices. It was bad decision after bad decision last night. Stupid third base attempt by Soto. Just the bunt attempt that Austin Nola put down in the 6th inning last night. On and on again. I see Padres fans blaming the coaches. So if you want to talk about it, our phone lines are open, 833-288-0973. We even have phone screener this morning. We've got,
Got some help.
my new intern, Father's Day weekend. I brought my son. Jack's out there answering the phone. So say hi to Jack when you call in.
Hey,
833-288-0973.
be nice to Jack. It's his first day.
Yeah. You don't be angry at him. Be angry at us.
That's exactly right.
You know, I also see people blaming us for not being hard enough.
And if Jack screws
the
up
coaches.
putting you on hold, then blame Bob Melvin.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. It's when in doubt, just blame Bob Melvin.
Well, I mean, or the radio host.
Or the radio host.
Could be our fault as well.
Yeah.
We will.
It's not hard enough.
We will go through last night's tough loss, 8-6, with our Padres wrap up right after this check of traffic on 97.3 The Fan.
From the premier Chevrolet of Carlsbad Traffic Center, part of the Premier Auto family, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is sponsored by Premier Kia of Carlsbad. It looks like they're still clearing this crash on the westbound 8 just before the 67. It's over the right shoulder. And watch out for some debris in the slow lane on South 163 at Claremont Mesa Boulevard. With a huge selection of new Kias in stock, they're sure to have the Kia of your dreams. They're right up the 5 freeway in the heart of Carlsbad, or shop online at premierkiaofcarlsbad.com. And Kelly Danick with Ben & Wood, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
It's a shame if they lose.
You can visit Pity City, but you can't live there.
Did you miss any of the Padres game yesterday?
Oh, it's been a great day today. Can't wait for more.
Oh, God, here we go. Jesus Christ.
Cancel the parade. That's why you play the games.
It's the Padres wrap-up with Ben and Woods.
Slam Diego? More like fail Diego.
Presented by Hamul Casino. With thrilling slots and tables and all the best rewards, Hamul Casino has all the fun you're looking for. Hamul Casino, fun above all else. On 97.3 The Fan.
I just felt the way that the roster is built, they would have to outscore their opponents to win.
1-1 pitch is looped up the middle into center field and a base hit. Jimenez has scored. Rosario's being waved. He's going to score as the throw is cut by Bogarts near second base. A 2-run single for Josh Naylor and a 2-0 Cleveland lead in the first. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Fry hammers it in the air deep down the left field line. Soto back to the corner, looks up, and this one gonna go. A home run for David Fry, his first in the big leagues. And it's a 3-run shot in the top of the first inning. And the Guardians now lead 5-0. 0-1 pitch hit in the air to deep left field. He has hit his 8th home run tonight. Second deck and a 3-run shot. Whole new ball game. 5-3 Guardians in the bottom of the first inning and still nobody out. Here's the 3-1. Ramirez hits it hard and fair up the third baseline. That'll go down the line, get another run home. Soto has to dig it out in the corner, and what do you know, another double. Jose Ramirez into second base. He brings home the 6th Guardian run of the night. And 6-3 Cleveland here in the second inning. That's going to end the night for Ryan Weathers. 1-2 again. Here's the pitch. And Dixon off the end of the bat rolls it towards first base. Bell is charging, goes to tag the bag in time, but both runs going to score. Bogarts came in easily, and then as Bell was diving towards first base, Ha-Sung Kim never took his eye off the play and comes all the way around from second base. Here's the 0-2. Bell swings, hits it in the air to deep right field. Fernando racing straight back. A little bit of a twist and turn. Hops up in front of the fence, and he made the catch. Came down and crashed into the right field wall. And again, we're going to hang a star for Fernando Tatis Jr. This guy continues to play Gold Glove defense.
This is becoming a routine thing for me. Hanging this star on balls hit the right field.
Ball and 2 strikes to Trent. And a pitch hit in the air to deep right field. Arias is backing up. In front of the wall, looks up. It's off the wall, and it rolls away from him. Kim's going to score easily. Cruz on his way to third base. They'll have to hold him there. Grisham into second with an RBI double, and it's a one-run game in the fifth. A one pitch and a ground ball to second base. That should do it. Jimenez down to a knee has got it. Throw to first in time, and the ball game is over. Guardians hold on for an 8-6 win as they avoid the sweep here this afternoon. The Padres take 2 out of 3 from Cleveland, and they will keep on keeping on with the Tampa Bay Rays coming to town for the start of a weekend series tomorrow night.
There were some left out there. We also came back with a vengeance, and we were in pretty good position there. Gave up another run in the second, got 2 more. So offensively, we feel really good about what we're doing. There were a lot of guys out there. We scored some, we didn't on some. It probably ended up factoring in, obviously. But our approach, I think, was good today against some pretty good pitchers.
That was Bob Melvin answering a question, I believe, by AJ Cassavell about all the close losses the Padres have had lately. In fact, I tweeted, and maybe AJ even saw this one, that in their last 17 games, Woods, decided by 1 or 2 runs. Padres are 2-15 in those 17 games. Those are 17 winnable games that could go either way with 1 hit, one more out, 1 more play made essentially in a 1 or a 2-run game, like last night. Many chances for the Padres to win that game last night. When Ha-Seong Kim scored from second base and they pulled within 1, I was pretty sure actually at that point they were going to come back and win that game. But they didn't, and they continue to not win these close games. 2-15 in their last 17 games. That is remarkable. You should be lucking into, even a bad team should luck into about 5 wins in those close games. 2-15 in those close games. And a lot of people, when I posted that, and I think understandably so, will point the finger at the manager and the coaching staff, that when you lose close games, those are the ones that sometimes that one decision by a manager, that the bit of coaching can make a difference. And I don't think fans are wrong in that case either.
I thought, listen, I love Bob Melvin, but I thought, last night was not his best effort. And I thought the plan before the game was wrong. I said so on the show yesterday. This team has not swept a team all season long, not one. And when you have a chance to do that without completely rejiggering your rotation, which you didn't have to do, everybody was going to be on normal, regular rest, to move Yu Darvish up to tonight's start. Yes, it's a better matchup, certainly. I'm going to be at the game tonight. Would I rather watch Yu Darvish against Shane McClanahan than Ryan Weathers against Shane McClanahan? Absolutely. But you give Yu Darvish 6 runs last night, you're winning that ball game. You're winning it. You can't say it with any certainty, but I would say it with more certainty than I probably should. You win that baseball game, you sweep the Cleveland Guardians, and you're on to Tampa Bay. I hated the move from the get-go. You know what they did? You know what the Padres did, and everyone that made this decision? They split 10s. They got 2 kings dealt to them, and the dealer was holding a 6. And they split 10s. Take the win. Take the 20. Take your money. No, you got greedy, and you thought, ooh, if we can outslug, we can get to Logan Allen, which they did. We can get to Logan Allen. We could win this one. And then we have a better pitcher going against, the probable Cy Young winner on Friday night. Now you've put yourself in a position to lose 2. And you could have won 1. You could, if you're gonna move things around to get a better matchup on Saturday night, you got to be sure or Friday night, you got to make sure you win Thursday night's game. And I hated the move. And Ryan Weathers does not belong on this team, at least in a starting capacity. He just doesn't.
But he is on the team.
Yeah, I get it. You use who you use.
He is your 5th starting option right now.
Yep, and I get it. You got to use who you got. But to hang a 6 spot before you walk out the door on your team. And yeah, man, of course they came back, and it was awesome. I love when Manny hit that bomb. I loved it. That was fantastic.
I mean, as a manager, isn't it your job? And I know this is going to sound like a defense of Bob Melvin. Isn't it your job to try to put your players in the best position for success possible?
Yes.
When you look at Ryan Weathers and you go, all right, Cleveland's a pretty light hitting squad. They don't have much power. Do I want to throw this guy against the Cleveland Guardians, or do I want to save him for the team that just won their 50th game in 72 tries, that has been pretty much consistently hitting all season long. I know I'm putting Ryan Weathers in a failure spot if I start him against the Rays on Friday night, but
the
I don't have
Rays
anyone
just
else.
lost twice to the A's, so it's not like the Rays are coming in smoking hot either, and they barely won again last night. So again, the Rays are fallible, just like every team is fallible. But take the sweep. You split tens. Dealer showing 6. They deal you a 20, and you go, "Watch this. Hey buddies, I'm gonna split these." And he throws you a 2, throws you a 4, and you're like, "Oh my God, I just gave up a 20 and it doubled my money." And now we run the risk of not winning anything at this point. So it's a bummer. It's a bummer. You know what's not a bummer though? The guy that just walked in, he's sitting to my right. So happy to see you again, my friend. The great Jay Moore is on the program. Turn him off.
Hollywood celebrities, always known for being remarkably on time and early to things.
How about the big game?
The big game.
How about the big game, guys? Huh? How about the big game?
You're no stranger to this. You've done this job before. You know what we're doing here, Jay.
Oh yeah, you were great. You were great at this job, by the way.
Yeah,
Thank
you were.
I just didn't have the stamina. I learned that radio is for radio guys.
It is.
I lasted 3 years and I went, I can't talk about the Cowboys anymore.
Were you were like midday, right?
No, I was 9 to noon.
9 to noon.
And then they moved me to noon to 3 and then took me off the air in LA. I was like, what am I doing here? This is crazy.
It's kind of hard because you do stand up, you get up there and you talk for 30 minutes, maybe even 45, maybe even an hour.
Oh, he does a seat. You
do
do
an
a
hour.
longer set than that.
Man,
But
I'm doing an hour and a half.
Wow. You can't.
No, I do about.
But then you come in and you got 3 hours and you got to do all the reads and you got to do everything else. You got to make sure you stay on topic.
That was the easy part. The part for me that I hated was the interviews because I didn't care about 80% of the people I interviewed.
I can relate.
This guy
very much.
Coming up, NASCAR driver, who gives them? Hey, so when you drove the car fast, what's that like?
How's that cool?
Yeah, you ever fart in the car? They don't like.
They don't like
you
it.
two are soulmates. See, I'm
They
the
really
guy.
are.
My boy, I love the interviews. I love talking to people.
That's Woodsy the Owl.
I'll suggest an interview. He'll go, no,
just
no.
I'd love to see the ratings book during interviews. Like it's just that plummet.
It really depends on who it is.
We were just in the car listening to radio, and then there was an interview. We just went, no,
out.
Put on the Beatles channel.
Yeah, there you go.
We're interviewing Jay Moore right now.
Yes,
on the
we
Ben
like
program
interviews.
this morning. Ratings plummeting as we speak.
No way. No, I didn't mean in studio comics. Come on,
Those interviews are okay.
What about the big game?
The big game. Well, we were talking Padres baseball. You're still a baseball fan?
Yeah, but I had to ride the basketball thing out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know.
I had to see how my Lakers were going to do.
So this is an interesting.
What about the Lakers, homie?
This is an interesting question.
¿Qué pasó?
He is Lakers royalty. My co-host Ben. Did you know this?
By birth. No.
By birth. His grandfather was the team doctor of the Showtime Lakers. So
who was he?
Dr. Curlin.
Oh yeah.
So when
Curlin Joe,
baby, that's in my shoulder.
So when he would, Christmas morning, knock on the door, Ben, go get the door, Ben, and it's Kareem, right?
Yeah,
Kareem standing
in dolphin shorts
on Christmas morning.
Very intimidating fellow, by the way.
Bro, I did.
Scowling.
I'm on the second season of Winning Time. I play Kareem's agent.
It's so good.
And the
Love
kid that
show.
plays Kareem, Solomon Hughes, looks just like him. He's wearing like that weird wig with the bald spot, and he's 6'10", but they put the Herman Munster boots on him, so he's like 7'1". And at one point, he has like a tantrum. He goes, "What are you going to tell me about?" And I was so intimidated, I forgot my line.
Which player's son actually plays him? Is it Norm Nixon's son? Which one? There's an act. One of the kids is actually the kids of one of the Showtime Laker guys.
Smush Parker.
But it's
I brought you a special
show,
water, a
Yeah, it's a
fancy
big
water.
one though.
All right.
I'll take it with me, maybe.
I thought you're Hollywood. I went Fiji. I got the expensive stuff.
I'm from New Jersey.
That's fair. I should have gotten you the
Hollywood,
the bottled water.
I'm a tap water guy.
So
Water.
first of all,
Water.
water. First of all, it's great to see you again. It's been
Thanks,
too
buddy.
long. We are at a
Thanks.
new station
I'm
now.
looking at my new hair on the monitor. I'm pretty impressed. New hair, new teeth.
Dude, the last time we saw you, it was awesome. It was great to see you again, but your life has changed dramatically since you were here. It's got to be 3 or 4 years ago. First of all,
hot mess.
clean and sober now.
Yeah, I was pretty high last time.
I think so.
I looked at our old text thread. It's just me like throwing thousands of YouTube videos at
At
you.
me, the Stones.
Like, check this out. Now watch this. Now watch this.
Yeah, but
I'm
at
not high. I'm not on speed.
At like 3 a.m. too.
Yo, check this out. Read the comments.
I would get it driving to work, and I'm like, Oh,
was
Joe
up.
Jay's still up. He must be on the East Coast.
Bro, I was coaching wrestling on speed. I was so skinny, my nipples were longer. I had those tater tots, man. I couldn't go through West Hollywood without bumpers and a mouthpiece.
Well, this is not meant to sound condescending, but I'm very proud of you and happy
Why
for
would
you.
that be condescending?
I don't know.
That's
I don't know. It sounds
How
condescending.
are
a
you
little bit.
raised that a compliment is condescending?
Yeah.
I don't want it to sound like an insult, but I'm proud of you.
It's awesome, though. It's awesome
it's
to
the
see.
best.
It's awesome to see.
I love it.
And
If I could just, why are you sitting on that ball? It's pretty
oh
funny.
yeah. Well,
He's got a ball actually in his rectum.
in
That was pretty bizarre. I looked down. I'm like, is he giving
He actually
birth?
pulled it out.
I was squeezing it, and then I just tuck it right
That's what
here.
I do.
I do the tuck. Yeah.
I tuck things a lot. When I was on speed, I used to tuck it all the time.
You have no choice.
I've got a secret.
Jay,
Ain't nothing gonna break my stride.
Jay Morris in studio with us. If you couldn't tell this morning here on Ben and Woods, but no, it's amazing. How long now?
2 years. I got an app.
You got it. Okay,
Exactly.
good.
I'm gonna
I
guess.
thought you're gonna break out your coin.
I'm gonna guess 825 days.
That's pretty incredible.
Wow.
826.
Because it was pretty. It was
Congratulations.
pretty dire for a
I
while.
had an intervention,
It's
dude.
an occupational hazard, though,
It's-
for what you do, right?
Eh,
A little bit.
I was born this way. It's like it was a full-time job. That's all I thought about, doing that pill math all the time. I love that Adderall, man. Woof. I was a life coach. I was so high, I was a life coach. I was good at it. too.
Coaching people's lives
Oh yeah. I was like, this is what you gotta do.
while your life is out of
Oh,
control.
it was the best. I was at my own intervention. That's like the worst surprise party ever.
It's
You-
got to be.
You walk in, everybody you love is in one room. You're like, hey, oh no.
They're like, no.
Aunt Rose, how could you?
Aunt Rose.
Wait, it's not my birth. Oh,
Oh no! Is this what this is? No, it's such a. I mean, look, anytime anybody can get through that and just get out
Well, I
of
was
that
out of
mess.
options. If I had any other options, I probably would have taken them. You got to tell a drug addict a lie to get us to our intervention.
Yeah. What was the lie they told you?
I was told that
The Stones are here.
close, close at 8 for my podcast at the time. I was told at 8:00 the next morning I was going to interview Wu-Tang Clan.
Oh my God!
No way.
That'll get you in the door.
So I stayed up all night coming up with like Wu-Tang Clan interviews. And then I walked in. I thought, think about how high you got to be. I thought Wu-Tang Clan was coming to my house at 8:00 in the morning. I don't know if you listen to Wu-Tang Clan, but they're
Oh, yeah.
not morning people.
No.
I don't think RZA's coming from an operations seminar at 6 a.m. on Zoom. Like, yo, I got to get to that podcast, son. But my buddy, Skylar Stone, a comedian, he was actually emailing me as RZA. And he did a good job. He came up with like a fake email address,
Oh my
like
God.
Shaolin Sun 310.
Oh my God!
And I wish I could find. I've asked him for those emails. He's like, "Yo, Thursday, boing,
We'll,
boing,
we'll
boing."
be there. We'll be there.
Jay, you remember top of the hour hard outs in radio?
Of
We got
course he
one
does.
here, but we'll be back in 2 minutes with more in studio. Jay Moore tells us about why he's in town and all that good stuff coming up. Hour number 2 of Ben and Woods next on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Just got a text from a friend. It says, can you please extend a heartfelt thank you to Jay Moore for me? That man's podcast from 2012 to 2015 single-handedly saved me from a deep depression following my then-wife's affair and following divorce. Seriously life-changing. That's from our pal Alex. So thank you.
Wait till they find out I was the guy fooling around with his wife. Sorry, Alex.
Sorry about
but
it, Alex.
But you know why. Alex, my man. Thank you, brother. Thank you, brother.
It's good. It's good to have Jay Moore back in studio.
Hey, come down to the Comedy Store.
Yeah, Comedy Store. We want to get these. How many shows are you doing a night? What are we doing here?
2 tonight, 2 tomorrow, 1 Sunday.
Okay, 2 tonight. Comedy Store La Jolla. One of the most fun,
love it.
beautiful rooms.
I love it.
I made my stand-up debut.
Yeah,
there.
he went on that stage. He
And I
was
almost
nervous.
soiled
This
myself.
guy doesn't get that nervous. He was more nervous
Like
than
this.
I've
I was
ever
sh-
seen him.
shaking. I've done everything.
Soiled.
I did. I almost soiled my pants.
You don't hear soiled enough.
It was so scary. It's so scary.
How about when you walk through a hospital and there's that like one big like bin that just says soiled,
Soiled
linens.
linens.
Like, ugh. Somebody's job is to collect all those bacon strips and throw them into one bin.
Those were my linens. After doing stand-up at the Comedy Store with Mike Venn, who's over there as
What
well.
are you nervous about? Weren't you prepared?
Yeah, I was
Who
prepared.
cares?
But I had to remember what I had prepared.
Yeah, it is like hyperspace.
And you get up there and everything just shuts down.
It's like studying for a test,
Kind
sort
of,
of like
kind
in
of.
school. You got to cram and
Bring
look at
cheat
your
sheet up
notes.
there.
Yeah, I brought my notes up there.
You
and-
still doing it anymore?
No,
Thank
with
God.
the kids and stuff. Yeah, there's just no way. It's not. You can't do mornings and do stand up. They don't do
I
stand up
do.
comedy at 6 a.m.
What am I doing here then?
Yeah, but you're down to work right now. You're having fun.
This is work.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
I'd rather be watching To Catch a Smuggler. Actually, that's not true. I'm having a good time.
Well, it's good to have you in again, man. And yeah, go out and see Jay Moore. Tickets online, Mikey. Yeah, tickets online. Comedy Store.
I just want to get. How do I get my name?
ComedyStoreLaJolla.com.
How do I get my name on the side of the building? What the hell?
We got to get somebody to paint it on it.
You go to Michael's, you buy the letters, and you
And
bring them
do it
yourself.
Puff paint.
Stencil.
Puff paint. I mean, people are tweeting in, they're texting right now. And first of all, I wanted to ask you though about your sobriety. When you got sober, was there any panic about getting back on stage? Did you think like I'm more funny because I'm effed up all the time?
I was. The panic was like, how am I going to live without drugs?
Yeah.
And that's weird. I was at the turning point. Like, how am I going to live? I remember being in detox and like crying like a baby. I thought I was like a high bottom drunk, you know. I was like, well, I got a job, I got a car, I got a life. And then I remember when you're in rehab, they give you like these big water bottles with like the name of the rehab on them so they could spot you guys all like out on the beach if you wander. And I remember they changed when you're standing in line for meds. That's like, oh, this is what my life's come to. But I remember once I was having a tantrum in rehab and I was crying. I went back to my room and I was crying and I had that big water bottle. I'm laying on my back in my little twin bed. Well, it's not fair. And I'm sucking on that water bottle and I had a shaved head. And I looked over to my right and in the closet mirror, I could see myself. I looked just like a fat baby, just sucking on a bottle. Wah! And I was like, you know what? This is a low bottom. I'm lower than I thought. I was just sitting there like, well, it's not fair. It's not fair. Wow, I didn't get my ice cream sandwich. Drug addicts will complain about anything. We had a chef at rehab, and this guy made us breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and we still mother effed him to his face. Like, I don't think when this guy graduated like culinary school, he's like, "Could I cook? Maybe I'd cook for meth head."
A bunch of heroin junkies.
Yeah, I don't need a nice restaurant.
How many Michelin stars?
Yeah.
3 Michelins. Yeah. And I remember once he made quiche for us, and I was in there with all gangbangers. It was like a men's Christian rehab. It was just all vatos and me. And this one gangbanger took a bite of quiche and threw it in the trash in front of him and goes, "This is more like a frittata, man. This is more like a frittata." It's like, wow.
Talk about a low bottom for that chef.
A month ago, you were wiping your ass behind Burger King with your socks. Now you're an Iron Chef. Do the guys that jumped you into the gang know you have such a sensitive palate?
Yeah. Pastry crust is a tough thing to get right, Jay.
This
Come
is
on.
more like a frittata. I remember we had phone privileges for like 20 minutes on Thursday nights, and all the guys, the Mexican guys would like run through their cell phones and just start yelling in Spanish, but to be one English word in it, and it confuses you. You ever hear like, LensCrafters. You're like, wow, that guy needs some new frames.
Desperately.
John Wayne Airport.
Desperately.
Ben, I can't even say Ben and Woods.
I
2 hours of sleep.
I saw Jay for the first time. It's been so long, but it was back in Dallas, Texas, when I lived there, and
That's where we met.
yeah, in Dallas. And I told the story. I tell the story all the time, and I still do the impression. Your time on the movie Suicide Kings, and if you haven't seen that movie yet, you're missing out on just a banger of a film with a great cast.
A banger.
But on that cast was Christopher Walken.
A banger, as the kids would say. What's up with your Padres? It's crazy. Starting pitching, you need that bridge to the bullpen. Close out the show. Don't get me started on Manny Machado. That's all I got.
It's well enough.
Clearly, you've run into Christopher Walken at some point.
Oh yeah, he worked with him on that movie.
Yeah, but what was his reaction to your
reaction?
of him?
He thought I was making fun of him. He got really uncomfortable. He goes, "Whoa, you got to stop it, making fun of me walking around." He had this one speech that I was obsessed with. He goes, "It's lucky for you. I know who I know, and I do what I do. Otherwise, your princess would be chopped minced meat by now." And I was just walking around and do what I do. And he goes, "Whoa, you got to stop it." When he gives you the whisper, it's scary. Like, "Jay, you got to stop it."
Oh my God.
In his ass.
All day.
The Chargers, they're not here anymore because they couldn't stand playing in Qualcomm. They rented. The whole thing about being an adult, the girls want to know, do you own a rent? And they rented, by God.
It's incredible. It's just it gets me every time. Yeah, the line that you told you had a dog. And
yeah. That's a true story. The first day on Suicide Kings, I walked up to him to say hi, and he goes, "I can see you coming." I was like, "Well, yeah,
walking in front of you.
Yeah, I'm not a Vietnamese sniper working a tree line." He goes, "And I see your dog too." I go, "Her name is Shirley." He goes, "Who cares?" I noticed that your dog doesn't have a tail. That's crazy. What happened to your dog's tail? Where did it go? I'm just standing there thinking, where the hell is my dog's tail? The dog's looking at me like, yeah. When I get happy, I got to wiggle my whole ass. Yeah, it didn't get any easier from there.
We've tried, we've dabbled with our Christopher Walken impressions. It's retired.
It's absolutely
we cannot do it
retired.
on the air ever again.
I can't do it anymore.
Of course, you can do it. You got to be able to return serve. So what is wrong with the Padres? I don't know. I haven't been keeping up.
Well, they spent as much as
dough.
the Yankees on their team, and they're still under 500 at this point in the season. So we're pretty disappointed.
Who's the guy you got from the net? Soto.
Soto.
What's going on?
He walks a lot.
Yeah,
Walked 4 times yesterday. I mean, he's on base.
It's the golden sombrero base on balls.
Are you a Met guy or a Yankee guy? I always forget.
I don't really care.
You don't care anymore?
He's a Laker guy.
Norm
now.
McDonald. Yeah, people ask me all the time. Yeah, they're like, "Hey, are you a Yankees guy or a Mets guy?" And I tell them right to their face, I don't care. Yeah, I don't know. How about the big game? I liked the Yankees growing up, and then when they toured on Yankee Stadium, I was like, that just can't happen. I'm out. And then I was in LA, and then Don Mattingly and Joe Torre came west. So I was like, all right, I'm into the Dodgers. But now I like the Mets unis, those pinstripes from like 86. That stuff is nice.
You're all over the place.
Who cares?
Which is good. Yeah, who cares?
I like going on games on the road, seeing the different stadiums.
Yeah.
Seeing which ones are good, which ones, the one in Pittsburgh,
PNC.
Ooh,
looks incredible.
Nice.
Looks again. They're playing really, really well.
Overlooking the Allegheny River, waiting for Willie Stargell, Big Papa, to come out and hit the ball over the fence.
God, that's so fantastic.
I got to stop her. I can't stop.
That's kind of what we were hoping for. Actually, get him wound up.
When you guys hire Al Pacino as your manager?
Al Pacino is here.
Soto, I need to talk to you about your base on balls. I am not paying you to take 4 and walk. Hit the ball over the fence. You can be a man. Hoorah.
I'm dead. I am.
Where is Ken Cameron? Whoops, never mind.
Oh, Jay. Man. How about Colin Quinn? What would he have to say?
Let's not make a big deal out of it. I mean, what are we going to do? There's a dog park in Centerfield, Petco Park, give me a couple of milk bones and a cow's ear. Jeez, Soto, he's got a little French bulldog in him. I don't know. That guy looks. trying to edit as I talk.
Yeah, I was
It's
just
so
about
hard.
to say, how do you not curse?
I know.
While you're doing this, I know you've done a lot of radio,
I think
so I
what
guess
the
you've had to-
Padres need, if we're being honest with ourselves, is a few more guys named Kim. You know? Japanese guys always hit off the front foot.
He's actually Korean, Colin.
Well, he ain't white, you know. Maybe he's Haitian. I don't know. He's gonna be an Italian with Down syndrome with the haircut. Who knows? You might want to dump that.
I mean, it's Colin Quinn said it. You didn't.
Well, what are you gonna do, guys? You know, we are the free swinging friars, you know.
I did the first radio that ever asked me to do Colin Quinn. I'm so happy.
Really? Oh, I love it.
Love Colin.
I
so
do
much.
too. It's absolutely hysterical. You've
Goes,
done.
God bless Australia. Those alcoholics always have our backs, you know. In a ball bag hanging out of denim shorts. Oh, Australia.
Everyone who watched Saturday Night Live in the 90s is really enjoying this segment.
Oh, it's so
I like
good.
when he did Lenny the Lion on a Weekend Update. It's just a lion.
Just a lion.
I'm sitting there with blood in my mouth. You know, I see my shadow. I'm like, this is how people see me. You know? This is oh, this is how people see me. You know, a killer.
Jay Moore, if you couldn't tell, is with us right now.
Comedy Store La Jolla. Let's
Comedy
go.
Store at La Jolla.
Let's go. Fill it.
5 shows, 3 nights. Get your tickets at comedystorelajolla.com. And I've seen Jay do stand up. He's phenomenal, as you can tell. Just a great dude, man. I've seen so many of your movies and your TV shows. And I said last time you were here, The Groomsman, another massively underappreciated movie with Ed Burns, who is like
favorites.
the most handsome dude I've ever seen. Like, he's such a sharp guy.
He can kiss.
Can he? I bet. What's he been doing? Is he still
Christy Turlington?
I'd probably put the old typewriter away for a while too.
Oof.
So, yeah, that's his wife. Yeah,
Oh, he's married to her.
I think he's married to her.
Oh, Ed Burns?
Yeah.
No, I thought he was the gay guy.
No.
What are we doing? I'm the dumb guy now.
Oh,
This
Oh,
is the
no.
Jersey guy. Ed Burns, the gay guy? Oh, no, he's the straight guy.
Straight guy.
Christy Turlington?
Christy Turlington's.
I grew up in Jersey with guys that put S's on words that don't need it. Hey.
They use guys.
News guys.
Who's that? Soto's? Who's up, Soto's? Soto's is up. He hit a home run. What about your boy Spike Owens? What's he doing?
Yeah, I haven't heard that name in a long time.
Swinging and missing here.
It's all right. It's all right. You're doing great, man.
So you agree
I do agree.
that I'm swinging and missing?
Yeah. No, on that part.
Spike Owens reference. Oh, you want me to carry the show?
Yeah, please.
Comedy Store La Jolla.
La Jolla.
2 shows tonight. What time are the shows, honey bunny?
7 o'clock and 9:30.
7 o'clock and 9:30. You said that like you're in an old movie. 7 o'clock and 9:30. See?
I'm staying quiet because I just asked sports questions.
Yeah, he's
And,
the sports robot.
Well, first of all, is the window closed on the Lakers now with the Nuggets ascension in the Western
Oh, no.
Conference?
We're gonna re-sign Austin Reeves and Rui.
Yeah, well, that's nice. They didn't get it done this year. I mean,
They were together 2 weeks before the playoffs
I was happy
started.
with how it ended, but the
You know,
Nuggets look pretty good.
You know, build in a little time for chemistry, you know? Little training camp.
LeBron sticking around to play with his son in a couple of years.
Where's he gonna go?
That's a good point.
Where's he gonna go?
James Harden coming to the Lakers? Don't want him.
Like hard. This
I
is
think it's just
sports
you just
news
gotta,
here.
You just got to make like a whole bunch of moves so you don't wind up with Kyrie. So there's no room for Kyrie.
Right.
It's like let's get Austin Reeves.
Here. Thank you.
Oh my God, that guy is a maniac.
It's awesome seeing you courtside down there with your lady.
You've never seen me.
I have.
What?
Yeah, I saw you. You had some funky outfit on, like a sweatsuit. It was
Oh,
amazing.
leopard print.
The leopard print. Yeah, I saw it. You were
I was
courtside.
fat. I was fat, and I lost 40 pounds.
Yeah.
Thanks, crack. I was fat. I could put my hands in my pockets naked. That's the first. What are you, cousin Brucey?
So you and Jeannie been together a few years, engaged to be married.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
She stuck with you through all this garbage.
Yeah, she was with me. She was at my intervention. I thought she was the person that organized it.
Yeah.
So when I was packing for rehab, I was just staring her down like mean packing.
Yeah.
Like never took my eyes off her.
The mean pack.
So I was just staring at her, like shoving stuff in my backpack. I get to rehab. I got 14 pairs of socks.
Yeah, that's it.
How could you?
She's amazing. I mean, seems amazing.
You have no idea what a wonderful person she is.
Yeah.
She is and hot.
Yeah, very hot.
Yeah. Sometimes we do it.
Good for you. Like you got to look in the mirror some days and go, it's pretty good. Things are up.
About me?
Pretty good. Just about life in general.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
I love my life, dude. This is the best.
Well, I'm
I love
happy
it.
for you.
I'm in La Jolla. Like I'm at work.
Yeah. I'm very, very happy.
There's
for
no
you.
human resources in comedy.
That's true.
Sitting on that ball
I'm
again.
sitting on
You
that
can't-
ball
You're
again.
trying to hit that prostate with a blunt object. When was the last time you got your prostate checked?
It was actually I got a colonoscopy this year. That was
Yeah,
a
I
lot
got
of
one
fun.
too.
It was awful.
you
The
kind
night
of
before.
you botched that one. Why don't you tell them how?
Oh yeah.
Oh
we both-
yeah.
Cologuard.
This is a good
yeah.
story, actually.
Can I guess? Didn't evacuate properly the night
No.
before?
Oh no!
Actually,
I
maybe worse.
It was worse. They have to do it in the box. You know, that's the new thing.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
they send you a
doctors will
box
give you a
home.
box.
Yeah.
And they send it to you, and you have to go in a box, and then you put this solution over it. You put the thing back on the top, and you send it back to this company. They
Oh,
look
it's like
through
a shrimp
it.
boat.
Yeah, it's like a shrimp boat.
Yeah,
Basically,
I
they
see
look
that.
through it and they go, "Ooh, we're seeing some stuff."
Yeah.
In your poop
Stool.
in your
Yeah. Stool. Good.
in your
Good word.
stool.
Thank you.
In your make.
And they then they will let you know, hey, you need to schedule a colonoscopy. So my
How
dumbass.
about I just schedule a colonoscopy?
That's what I thought originally. And my doctor said, no, do this is the easy way. I don't have to go up there. Okay, fine. Well, I got the box, and I did it, and it was mortifying.
Why?
And my beautiful
Oh, the
wife's in the
box.
next room, and I have to walk out with my box. You know what I forgot to do? I forgot to
Wipe?
put the no, I did that. I forgot to put the label that
Rip it off,
rip it off that goes to the place. I went to the place, I dropped
You
it off
mailed crap.
to myself. It came back to me 2 days later.
Return to sender.
I got home, and I go, why is there a box? And I go, that's me, that's mine. So then I ripped it off. I took it back.
I bet like an idiot, he ripped it open. Like, I wonder what it is.
I didn't.
It's a present.
I knew exactly what it
I
was.
think there's a check in it.
I ripped the top off. I sent it back, and then they called me and they go, "Yeah, it's expired. You got to do this whole thing again." So I had to do it again, and then get a colonoscopy anyway.
Petrified poop.
Petrified poop.
That's
I just,
fantastic.
it was amazing. It was amazing.
You should go back on stage and just tell
It
the story. and
made
get
for a
off.
great story. So
You rips it open like a little kid on Christmas.
like, oh, what did I get? You should tell him why yours got sent back.
So, like 3 weeks later, my doctor has me do the same thing. I'm not going to make his mistake.
Yeah.
First thing I do
Rip
is
the
I rip
label.
that label off because I want to make sure it gets sent to
And you
the
put it
testing
on the
company.
stool.
No, I
You
do
wrap
the whole
the turd
thing, put
in
it
it.
in, put it in the box, send it
Like a
off.
burrito.
It doesn't come back to me, but they call me 3 days later and go, "I'm sorry, sir, we can't test your sample. It was too large,
Too big. A bear. This happened to us in the span of like 3 weeks on our show.
It was too large.
Too big. I go, Ben, you have to be more discerning when you do that.
Gotta cut it.
Blows the box up.
You gotta cut it.
Gotta get that butter knife out. Just fillet it on your way out. Like you're making strudel.
You think getting an exam is mortifying? Do that or do this. It makes the process 1,000 times worse.
When I got my prostate exam, I was like, "This is the worst." And the doctor goes, "Yeah, this isn't the best part of my day."
No, it's
But
not.
then he goes, "Now bring your knees up to your chest." I'm like, "You're pushing it." It's like I got to do a cannonball now.
Onto his finger.
Yeah, turn myself in. Prostate exam is 90% 10%.
Ooh.
Your whole brain goes, no.
No.
But in the back of your mind, you hear, "Get down on it. Get down on it."
Just fantastic.
Play the fart noise again. Maybe. I'm a
Fantastic.
child.
Oh, which one?
Yeah, he's got it.
And of course,
Yeah, that's, you know what? That's going to itch when it dries.
I enjoyed this.
Comedy
I enjoyed
Store
this.
La Jolla, 2 shows tonight.
oh,
One of you guys, look, I don't care about your job or your kids. Come on. Come to the show. Come on, people. Rally. Come see your boy, Jay Moores.
Jay Moore at the comedy stores.
Jay Moores. That's what Tracy Morgan always called me. Yeah, Jay Moores. You're my biological father. I'm not going to mess with you, Jay Moores. You legendary. Yeah. I got pregnant at Randy's Donuts. I blow the hole in the macaroni.
Oh, dude. My favorite. My
Yeah,
absolute
Randy's down the
favorite.
street now. They're expanding.
Yeah, we passed.
yeah.
Yeah, Randy's Donuts got me pregnant. I made love to a donut hole.
Oh,
Yeah.
man. I enjoyed that very
Jay,
much.
thanks so
Jay.
much for
Thanks,
coming by.
boys.
Good
So
luck
much,
with the
man.
show tonight.
And,
It's good to see you again.
Give
Looking
Woodsy,
good.
give Woodsy a raise. He's the one that hooked this all
Yeah,
up.
thank
Yeah.
you very much.
Thank you, Woodsy.
Appreciate it. I was very nervous when you wrote me back. I was very excited, and I'm glad that you're
That
here.
was,
glad you're alive.
That was amazing. That was amazing. All right, we'll come back. I think we were talking about how mad we were at Bob Melvin before Jay arrived, so we can pick up that conversation. But don't do this coming up as well. Hang on. It is traffic time, and we'll be right back with more Ben and Woods on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. was a lot of fun.
Yes.
I saw in the chat someone said Ben looks very tense right now.
Yeah, you did. You did. My wife said, "Relax your shoulders, Ben." Very. He's just.
Gotta talk about the U.S. Open. I gotta talk about
I've
the
got
U.S.
to
Open.
talk
U.S. Open. US Open.
about so and so's change in equipment.
Thank you for leading the discussion
No
with
problem.
Jay Moore, as it were.
He's
You
not
did a
the
nice
easiest.
job.
He's not the easiest to lead. You can't lead.
Comedians never are.
You can't lead somebody like that.
No.
You know, there's the awkward silences, and I'm looking at him like, what do you want to do? You're the funny one.
Right.
You do funny stuff. It's hard, man. They got to be on. You know.
Now he's unique in the sense that he did the podcast. He's done radio.
Yep.
Like he gets what
Yes.
what we're trying to do a little bit more than others that we've brought into the studio. But man, like my stomach hurts from laughing.
But
so
then
much.
it's so
Imagine
worth it.
being able to just rip off, like have somebody just rip off names, and you can nail
You're
a
like,
perfect
oh, yeah.
impression every single time.
No problem.
His Christopher Walken has always been maybe my favorite impression that anyone does of anyone ever.
It really.
But Al Pacino was close. That one was terrific.
That was Juan Soto. It just kills me. He's so
Oh
good.
my God.
That was great. That was great. Very, very happy.
If you missed any of it, Paulie's pulled a bunch of it. We'll play it back in our 9 o'clock hour this morning for sure. Maybe before Mudcat comes in. We got Craig Elston in a few minutes. We were talking about the Padres game last night. We really didn't get into the nuts and bolts of the loss. It goes on Ryan Weathers, of course, for giving up 6 runs, 5 in the first inning. You're going to lose 98% of games when your starting pitcher is knocked out that early. The rest of the game was actually a good performance by the San Diego Padres. Bullpen gave up 2 runs in 7 1/3 innings. You got a home run from Manny. You put runners on base, all the time. You had a lot of opportunities. Again, you couldn't come up with the one last big hit you needed to take the lead. But other than that, the other 25 guys on the roster not named Ryan Weathers put together a pretty good game last night. Is that a fair assessment?
I mean, it's how you assess good. I don't think you looking at missed opportunities is a good thing. There were a lot of opportunities. Yes, you put yourself in those positions.
Well, I mean, every team misses opportunities during a game. If your starting pitcher didn't give up 6 and you're up, 6-2. Yeah, all right. We scored 1. We left a couple of guys on. That's a rally. That's I mean, eventually an inning ends, and usually they don't end with a 3-run homer every single time.
And
you're going to leave guys on base when you have a productive offense.
This is not a defensive Bob Melvin. This is not, because I'm mad at Bob Melvin. I said it. I'm holding him accountable. Tougher to manage a game down 6 runs in the first inning, or 5 runs. What do you get? 5 in the first, 1 in the second. It's tougher. Everything's tougher.
But 3 batters in, you're only down 2.
Yeah, you're down.
And so
you're down
that's
2. Yeah,
that's a normal game again.
Right.
You're down 2. You're up 2. Those happen all the time.
The problem, in my opinion, lies kind of in where the roster and how the roster is constructed right now, and how the bullpen is constructed. And it's always that tough thing for a manager. Hey, we're down 5-0. It felt like a death knell. Manny hits that bomb. Man, you're right back in this game. There were so many things I looked at last night. Obviously, number one, I don't want a guy. If there's a guy in our lineup that you only feel comfortable with him bunting, I don't want him in the lineup. If you're going to do a safety squeeze in the fifth, by the way, with Austin Nola, Nelly Cruz on third base, just pull the ripcord there and pinch hit for Nola. If you don't trust him to try to hit a fly ball, if you don't trust him to try get a hit, he was at the time, he blooped in a double and he had walked. So, okay, fine. He's 1 for 1, OBP of 1,000. If you don't trust him enough in that spot to hit a lazy fly ball, then just pull the ripcord, get him out of there. He shouldn't be in there. And again, Bob said after the game, he called it. You never know. Sometimes guys wear one for their players. I thought the Juan Soto, we argued a little bit about the Juan Soto trying to steal third today. I thought that was not smart. And again, you can't prognosticate. You can't with any certain assuredness say, well, see, Xander got a hit. He definitely would have scored from second, because you don't know how baseball's going to play out.
We talked the other day. I was kind of upset that Fernando Tatis Jr. tried to steal third, even though he made it, but that was with 2 outs in that game the other day. This was with 1 out. If there's a time to try to take third, it is always with 1 out, because if you make it, then you can score on an out. You don't force the guy at the plate to have to get a base hit. And with Xander Bogaerts at the plate, the way he's been going, he doesn't strike out a ton, but he hits a lot of fly balls. He's been making some outs. That score, I think Juan Soto's thinking that scores me from third. Xander's going to put it in play. we're going to tie the game if I can get to third. He doesn't even need to get a hit. That's the time I think you do take that chance, especially if you think you get a good read. Not like he was out by a mile. If Jose Ramirez didn't have his foot right there, he's safe. He makes it.
Still out. He's still out. And now you got nobody on. Xander gets the knock again. Don't know that he's going to get the.
Didn't we just talk yesterday? We like the aggression. We
do.
They've been going on the
but
base
that's
paths.
dumb. And let me tell you why. If Tatis gets thrown out at third, guess what? Guess who do you have leading off the inning next inning? Juan Soto. What does Juan Soto do? He gets on base. So I'm it's the risk reward there. Soto's in scoring position. You need to get him in. There's less than 2 outs. I understand you don't want to make the third out at third base. I understand that. You don't want to make the first out at third base. I really don't even like making the second out at third base and not with the situation.
But by
the
that
game
strategy,
dictated.
You're never going to send anyone. And
he wasn't sent. He went.
He wasn't, but you're going to tell everybody, well, don't ever try to steal again because we can't make it out on the base paths. It's always a risk when you go.
That's not what I'm saying.
It's always a risk.
Yes, it is. But the game situation dictates how risky you want to be. And the game situation there tells me I'm the tying run. I'm in scoring position. There's no reason for me to go. I got to trust the guys behind me.
So when would you go then? What's the score that you think is appropriate?
Let's say I'm up 4. Let's say I'm down 4. Actually, down 4, I probably wouldn't. But
so
if I'm up 3, I'm up 4.
You better be ahead.
Yeah.
If you try to steal third
with less than 2 outs, I'm in scoring position. I mean, I really am. Or again, maybe if we are down 4 or 5, trying to mount a comeback, whatever. They throw it into center field.
See, now
throw it
in that case, I'd say if you're down 4, don't go because
you want to keep
you
guys
need multi-run home runs. You need to keep rallies going. It's not worth risking it.
It didn't
I
make
think
any
down
sense.
1 is the time where you do risk it because you increase your percentage of scoring.
To second, maybe. Because then what are you? You are in scoring position. What are you at second? You're in scoring position. What are you at third? You're at third, also in scoring position.
But you can score with an out from third. You make an out 70 to 80% time in baseball. You can then score on that out from third, whereas you can't score on that out from second base. You're increasing your chances hugely of scoring if he makes it from second to third in that case.
But you just literally killed a rally as the tying run in scoring position. It's dead. It's over. Now Xander's got to start over. He gets a hit, but stranded at first base, I believe. So, I do like aggressiveness, but I like smart aggressiveness. I don't think that's a situation you run in. I just don't. I think you run them right out of an inning, and now you got to start over and try to grind for that run. You were right there. Xander gets that knock, you score, and I realize that might not have been the case. You have to see how that would play out, different pitch selection, et cetera, et cetera. That being said, I thought it was kind of a bonehead play by Juan Soto. And I thought it was kind of a bonehead move by Bob Melvin and the Padres to start Ryan Weathers yesterday when Yu Darvish was ready to go and your offense is hot. Go get the sweep. And then you reshuffle the deck and you look to tonight. And if Weathers sucks in the first against McClanahan, you know what, man? Let's see how it plays out. Because he sucked in the first against the Guardians. That was supposed to be the softer matchup. They scored 5 off of him. That's the best position to win.
Curious sounds like we were going to lose either way with Ryan Weathers pitching. So
why is Ryan Weathers pitching?
Well,
that's the big question. So you might as well give Darvish. I mean, you're either your choices are give yourself a chance at the sweep or give yourself your best chance at beating the Rays,
buddy. And now we're instead of going, ooh, if we can steal this one with Weathers, then we can have Yu Darvish beat the Rays. We're 2-0. Now we have a better chance of going 0-2 than we do 1-1.
I mean, either way, it's a bullpen day with Weathers on the mound these days. So now, are you better served having a bullpen day on a Thursday or burning your bullpen Friday night and being screwed for the whole weekend?
Against a bigger series, one that you haven't won yet. You've already won this one.
Yeah.
You won the series, but
I think you can argue. You can really argue both.
You can. But I think for a team that hasn't swept one single team this year, just keep the good vibes going and get that win last night.
Curious what our friend Craig Elston has to say. Always level-headed, but doesn't pull his punches when it comes to the Padres. We'll talk to him next. Get a Crossing Streams recommendation on a Friday.
You could have pinch run Nelly too. You could have done a lot of different things there. You had a bench.
Now that I would have considered as well.
You could have put Odor there, and Odor probably scores on that bunt. And if you're Austin Nola, you got to push that bunt up the line.
He also might have scored from first on Trent Grisham's double right before that.
100%.
So maybe you pinch run him when he's all the way at first.
Yeah.
We'll talk to Craig coming up next on San Diego's #1 sports station. It's Ben and Woods on 97.3 The Fan. This just feels very Friday-ish today.
It does. It's been a blast.
A Friday. We had Jay Moore on earlier. Mark Grant's going to join us on a Friday on
He
our 9
nailed it
o'clock
in the
hour.
open. Jay Moore, we already know what Mud's going to bring to the table. So much fun so far this morning. It helps a little bit.
It
After
does.
last night's game.
You have it's a little bit of spiritual mouthwash provided by our guest today. Craig will bring the heat. Craig may be that flavor of Listerine. You know which one I'm talking about, not the cool mint one. The
medicinal
the
one.
paint thinner one.
Craig, like the original.
Yes, the one where you're like, it just stripped all the enamel off my teeth. That one where you're like, Mom, I can't do this. Can you cut it with water? That's the
You're just
Listerine.
like, why can't we just
Craig
get
is.
Scope? It's so much better. Why do we have to have
work
the
as
Listerine?
good, darling? It doesn't work as good.
We'll talk to Craig right after this check of traffic on 97.3 The Fan. All right, let's go out to our Premier Chevrolet of Carlsbad fan hotline, where we are joined by, is he Listerine or Scope? Craig Elston from the Crossing Streams podcast with us here on 97.3 The Fan. Good morning, Craig.
Hey, buddy.
He's not. He's neither. His audio is muted at the moment, but I see him. He's smiling.
Talking,
he looks
smiling.
good. He looks
great.
good.
He's tan.
He looks minty, fresh. So I guess Scope this morning. Let's try this again. All right. Round 2. Here's Craig Elston. No, never mind.
Any audio?
All right, no audio feed coming in from Craig. All right, well let's work it. Then maybe we'll reverse engineer Craig's appearance on our show today, because he's going to give us a good Crossing Streams recommendation. Yes, he's talking, he's chatting, he's talking, he's looking, see if he can activate his microphone, something like that going on right now. No, you're still not there. Hi, Craig. Welcome.
That's not good.
All right. Well,
this is definitely Friday.
833-288.
Okay, I just switched
There he
TVs.
is.
What do you think?
That's fine. Yeah, that works for us. Hi, Craig.
Never mind the microphone. Here come the Sex Pistols. What's happening?
Never mind the bullets. I love it. How you doing, buddy?
Oh, I'm good. I want to know why my mic doesn't work, but I guess I'll figure that out at like 8.
All right, hold up one of those fingers of yours, and then I want you to point it in the direction of who gets the blame, Craig, for last night's pretty gutting loss. You blame yourself. Yeah, we blame ourselves too. We had Bob Melvin on last week, and we didn't hammer him with hard enough questions. It's on us. We'll wear it.
Where's Ryan Weathers sitting?
Oh, yeah.
Which direction is El Paso?
I believe he's on a plane, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, like is he at if he's at the Southwest Terminal right now, let's at Lindbergh Field, let's point over there.
We all agree, though, right? The most bitter part of all of this is because of the tweets, right? Like, that's why I'm most bitter about the Ryan Weathers experience, is because of the tweets that his parents and his sister and his dad says, his mom and dad sent. That's why I'm most bitter. I'll be completely transparent. Like, I don't see Drew Pomerantz's mom, tweeting, and I don't see other people, Austin Nola's mom tweeting about his struggles. It's just like, hey, bro, like, let's assess some blame where blame is due. And I that's kind of why I'm bitter about it.
We also see Fernando Tatis Jr.'s mom Instagramming.
Yes,
maybe slightly different. Good reason to stay off Twitter, because then that won't get in inside your bowl to get mixed in there. Weathers has yet to show much of anything to say that he's a major league starting pitcher, despite what mom and dad might say. And, look, mom and dad are supposed to stick up for their kid, and I understand that. But if you look at his track record, this is the kind of thing I like to do when I'm assessing someone. There hasn't been a level in the minor leagues where Ryan Weathers allowed fewer hits than innings pitched.
Yeah.
Which to me is the telltale sign of, do you have good stuff, right? It's strikeout standings pitched and it's hit standings pitched. If you can keep people from getting on base, and if you strike out people, you've got good stuff that's going to show in the big leagues. He doesn't have either thing. He also doesn't have anything you'd call an out pitch. He's got a pretty good changeup, but it only works when he's working it perfectly off his fastball. Otherwise, it's kind of a college baseball type changeup. Works the first time, doesn't work the second time. Time to go. Seth Lugo is coming back. Weathers is heading down, and that'll allow the Padres to reassert their greatest strength, their starting pitching, their run prevention. Weathers is kind of like the one leaky porthole in the cabin right now, but it's letting a lot of water in. So good thing that they've battened that down and sent him off to El Paso.
The problem is there's still, 3.5 months left in the season. And if any one of the 5 guys goes down, it looks like Ryan Weathers is still the next choice to bring up and start more games. There's just no depth. And we talked about it earlier in the week in starting pitching in the system right now. It's probably something AJ is going to have to address at the trade deadline. Another thing he may have to address at the trade deadline without a lot of capital to spend. Let me ask you about the bunt. That's another thing that people have debated here, Craig, this morning. The safety squeeze with a slow 42-year-old base runner at third. To me, the pros, if you lay it down, you could score, and you stay out of the double play with Fernando Tatis Jr. Coming up next. No chance that you end the inning and you get your best bat up. So that's the positive. The negative, of course, is at best you're giving up an out for sure and killing any chance of a bigger rally at that point. And you got a slow runner at third, and it's just a dicey proposition to call a bunt there.
Austin Nola has led us to this. If you could hit at all, then they're not going to call safety squeeze every time you come up with a runner on third, because they think that's literally the only thing you can do to get the run in. But Austin Nola has led us to this. He's now playing once every 5 days, and that's a gigantic improvement for the San Diego Padres. And Gary Sanchez continues to hit and continues, I think, more importantly, to be pretty good behind the plate and really put the lie to everything we heard the last 2 years about, well, Nola is so indispensable and the pitchers can only connect with him. What was the worst outing of the week? It's the one Nola caught. I mean, if you want to keep going down that road, catcher's ERA and all that nonsense, like the worst starts have been the ones that Nola is behind the plate. So, he's a hole in this roster, period. And when he's up in a key situation, it's not good news for the Padres. It hasn't been all year. Bunting at least gives them an opportunity to not have a double play ground out or a pop fly, which is pretty much everything that Austin Nola is good to hit right now. So I completely understand it. And by the way, guys, I'll just say, I was 98% on Bob Melvin's side last night compared to being upset. The Padres came back. They didn't take 5-0 in and just eat it and lose 12-1. It was an incredibly competitive game. Cleveland threw their victory relief at San Diego, and it was still right there for the taking in the 9th inning. I thought last night was encouraging, and I think the last 2 weeks have been encouraging overall and are pointing toward steady growth for this Padres team through the summer. I feel really good right now, about the target that we've been aiming for this team. It's down to 13-9. They've got to go 13-9. Between here and the All-Star break to get 2 games over 500. I feel much more confident about that than I did 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, I do too. Still doesn't make the Colorado loss on Sunday or the loss last night. We said it yesterday on the show, Craig. I did not like the moving around of when you have a chance to sweep a team, you got them on their heels. I think you take it every time.
To be fair, the decision was made before game 2 of that series.
Correct.
So we didn't know we were going for the sweep in game 3.
If you
had to win game 2, the decision was made before that game.
Before game 2, yes. Yeah, it was.
They won the first game
announced.
and then he announced.
Then they won the second one. And yeah, I don't know. I thought it was it's not to rejigger the rotation at this point when you have a chance to sweep. I don't know. It is going to be. I'm going to the game tonight. I'm much happier I could see Yu Darvish pitch than Ryan Weathers. Trust me, I'm very excited about that. But I don't know, man. I see a lot of panic in this team sometimes with moves like that, and I see panic with sacrifice bunts or squeeze bunts in the 5th inning of games. And if you have a roster with guys on there that you need to panic about, maybe they're not the right guys for the roster.
No, they're not.
Yeah.
I mean, there's 3 or 4 guys on this team that shouldn't be on this team. I mean, that's been the case the whole year. But Nola is at the absolute top of the list. And I'm so sorry for his family if they're listening to the set. Shout out to his family, because the death of Nola's career is imminent. Honestly, he hasn't been good for 2 years. And right now he's basically the worst player in baseball. So when he's in the lineup, it means the team's going to be worse behind the plate. It means they're going to have no chance to throw anybody out. And it means they've got an automatic out at the bottom. He doubled yesterday of pop fly over Josh Bell's head.
Over Josh Bell's head. That dinked in.
So, yeah, a dunker.
It counts,
So,
but man, yeah.
Hey, when Luis Camposano comes back, it's on to AJ Preller to swallow his pride and either option or DFA Austin Nola off of this team. Until then, we're going to continue to believe that Gary Sanchez is the best catcher in baseball, because compared to the guy he's relieving, he is.
He is, yeah. No
Craig,
question.
let me ask you a quick question. Can you, I want to get your Crossing Streams recommendation. Can you join us after the top of the hour for a couple of minutes, or are you off on your day?
Yeah, no, I'm fine.
All right. So we can keep talking Padres here.
Yeah,
Hang on.
let's do it.
We'll hang on. We'll talk Padres through the break. I wanted to make this point. So it's a 26-man roster at any given moment of the season. But there's a pecking order, Fernando Tatis Jr., he's number 1, or, Juan Soto number 2, Manny number 3, whatever on your roster. Yesterday, the Padres probably played their number 26 guy in Nolan, their number 25 guy in Weathers, and their number 24 guy in Drew Carlton, and their number 23 guy. They threw a lot of their back end roster guys at that game
with
yesterday.
a chance to sweep that series.
Yes. Is that a bad thing? Is that a good thing? You can't just never play those guys.
Right.
You have to give guys breaks. You have to keep guys useful during the season.
If you're going to pinch hit Sanchez later in the game, pinch hit him in the 5th. What's another inning? When did Melvin pinch hit him? In the 7th, 8th,
I think lead off the 8th, maybe.
2 more innings. Like, if you're going to do it then, do it then. Get a better bat up there. If all you look at it and you go, oh crap, Nola's coming up. Hey, the bunt. It's just that you can't have a multitude
I agree
of
with
guys
you there.
like
Three extra innings of rest for Gary Sanchez.
What are we doing?
Not worth it.
Not
You could
worth
have
it.
had him up in that situation with a threat to drive in runs.
And Odor coming in later in the game. Put Odor on first when Nelly Cruz gets on in the 5th. I mean, if we're going to panic in the 5th inning by calling sacrifice bunts, let's fully panic and put the pinch runners in and get guys going here. Like, let's try to win that game in that spot. And listen, I know not a lot of breaks went against us, but the one that killed us last night was the rope that Trent Grisham hit 1 foot short of being a 3-run homer, give the Padres the lead. In my mind's eye, we don't look back. We win that game. Petco Park's rocking. We missed it by a foot. But man, we got put in a bad position last night.
Yeah, baseball's stupid. No one should watch this game. It's a silly game. Every time we focus in on 1 of 162, we see weird things and we think that they mean something. I think the real overarching point, guys, when we are talking about what we are doing with Austin Nola versus Gary Sanchez, when Nelson Cruz is the runner on and Ryan Weathers is like, this is the back end of the staff. To answer Ben's question, of course, you got to play these guys. It's June 16th. This isn't a playoff game. We're not taking on a wild card team in a must-win game. This is part of your team. It's a regrettable part of your team, and it's a part of your team that, honestly, when you brought up all those guys, well, what do you do this? Do you bring in Odor? Like, other than maybe Rougned Odor, I hope none of these guys are anywhere near the Padres when it's time to win a must-win game.
All right, Craig, we gotta take a break. We'll get your Crossing
Be right
Streams
back.
recommendation in 2 minutes next on
Hard
Ben
out,
Woods
nothing
on the
we can do.
Fan.
Halfway home on a Friday, Ben and Woods, 97.3 The Fan. People were yelling at us in the chat because they said we cut Craig off. I said we have a hard out. 7:56.
Nothing we can do about
Nothing we can
that.
do about it. Some hosts will ask a question at 7:55, and we know the clock's running, and then we have to be like, sorry. We'll be right back. So Craig was
I
kind
didn't
enough.
do that.
Yeah, you did.
I asked a question at 7:53, and then you answered it, and then Craig
That's
answered
true.
it
That
at
actually did
7:55.
happen this time.
I just got optioned to AM radio in the chat. They said you've been optioned. I'm out. So good to be with
Down
you
to
guys.
AAA.
Down to
But
AAA.
ultimately, the Padres won the series. I know it doesn't feel good when it's always the last game and you're trying to sweep. But Craig's point is a good one. If Padres keep playing like this at this pace and winning series and putting runs on the board, they're going to be just fine actually going forward. This is a good team right now.
Are you telling me that I'm splitting hairs and being too hard on the
No,
team?
I mean, that's part of the job. I mean, we're here every day to analyze every game, and there's certainly cause for criticism in last night's game. But the big picture at the moment is a pretty good looking picture, Craig, wouldn't you say, for the San Diego Padres?
It really is. The key is at the top. Tatis is now playing like an MVP. Manny is hitting the way he did last year. I remember being on this show like 3 weeks ago saying, if Manny doesn't come back and hit like Manny, the Padres offense is going to have a hard time getting to where it needs to get. We're finally seeing the last 3 weeks, and really for the first time all year, the stars play off one another. Tatis getting on base and stealing in front of Soto, and Soto driving him in.
Yep.
And then Manny, last night, the perfect example. Tatis patient, draws a walk. Soto patient, full count walk. Manny, bam, 3-run homer. That's the kind of baseball we've been waiting to see all year from the Padres. But, you know, as we went through a month where this team couldn't score, could never drive a runner in, with you know, runner on second, runner on third with one out. They were going through the desert for so long that it felt like, is this who we are? Is this what we are as a team? But, you know, I come back to my favorite sentence, my favorite phrase all the time. Baseball is stupid and no one should watch.
Yeah.
We are here. Like you said, we analyze every game, right? So we spent 30 games telling everybody, don't pay attention to what you're watching. This is all early information. And then you get to 40 games, you get to 60 games, and it's inevitable. We go, is this who we are? Is this all it is? Is this all we're going to be all year? And the answer is always is no.
No.
There's more to come. You got to play 162. And now we're finally seeing the offense at the top that was intended. But guys, here's the biggest thing before we move on. The Padres catch the ball better than anyone.
Yep.
The Padres have 2 Gold Glovers in the outfield right now. If Tatis doesn't win the Gold Glove, it's an absolute crime. Kim is playing the best defense possible. Really, you look around the infield and there are no weak spots. And you look into the rotation, Snell is pitching tremendously. Waka pitching like an all-star. Musgrove starting to find it. Darvish is there. He's doing his thing. There's one weak spot. We just cleared it. He's headed to El Paso. Seth Lugo is coming back. I really like the bones of what's being put together right now for the Padres. It feels like the kind of team that could play 2 months of 600 baseball. And that's what this club needs to be in the conversation, so that when you get to July, it's about what little piece can we add to get rid of a Nelly Cruz, Matt Carpenter DH, or to get rid of the back end of our catching platoon and bring in a little bit more life to this roster. I really think the Padres are on the right road right now.
All right, Craig, since you held on nicely, let's get to our Crossing Streams recommendation. And it's a show that I know Paul and Megan really highly have recommended. And now you're going to do so for our audience as well.
Hey, I will take requests and recommendations from all corners. It happens all the time, whether it's on social media or elsewhere. And Paul, a couple weeks ago, said, hey, have you checked out Platonic on Apple TV Plus, new comedy starring Rose Byrne and Seth Rogen? And I said, hey, I'll put it in the queue. Absolutely did. I'm caught up on the show now, which drops new episodes on Wednesdays, and 6 episodes out right now. And I really, really enjoy it. And it's this week's Crossing Streams TV streaming recommendation, again on Apple TV Plus, Platonic. This is a half-hour comedy, a 35-minute average runtime of episode, and starring Seth Rogen and Rose Byrne in Los Angeles. It's a early 40s kind of middle-aged, low stakes light comedy, and Rose Byrne is the mother of 3, has a successful family. Her husband is a lawyer that's just become partner. She decided not to continue her lawyering career in order to be a stay-at-home mom about 15 years ago. She's got kind of that middle-aged itch at home. She's a little bit restless, and she reunites with her friend Will, played by Seth Rogen. They were buddies growing up, college buddies, platonic friends who drifted when Will got into a marriage that she disagreed with. But now he's divorced. They kind of find their way back into one another's lives. First couple of episodes establish that. And then you've got really a lot of fun with a comedy that's got a good supporting cast and a ton of chemistry between Seth Rogen and Rose Byrne. I've enjoyed this show very much. Reminds me of Shrinking in some ways, another fairly low stakes comedy that debuted this spring on Apple TV Plus, in terms of, some adult humor along the way, some drug use, some cursing, but nothing too over the top, certainly nothing too serious. I literally only have one issue with Platonic at all, which is that Rose Byrne, who is Australian, I think at the beginning of the series was trying to do a Southern California accent and then gave up at some point a couple of episodes in, and then Australian words started drifting in, and then they literally have an insert line in the 3rd episode, which is clearly an insert line where someone just says, "Well, you're Australian."
Just to get it in there. That's amazing. Ben, you're
It's
Australian.
the only time it's brought up, which makes me laugh. So I'm like, I go in and out on her accent. Other than that, it's a tremendous show that I enjoy.
I've lost my accent over the years, but yes, I am Australian.
He's getting way better. He's getting way, way better at that. I mean, that's almost passable. That is almost passable.
Craig, thank you very much.
Thank you, brother.
Appreciate it. Have a good weekend, and it's always good talking to you.
Cheers, mate.
Cheers, mate.
Craig Elston, the Crossing Streams
Right,
podcast on our Premier Chevrolet of Carlsbad fan hotline. Save money the right way with Premier Chevrolet of Carlsbad. Visit them today in the Carlsbad Auto Mall. Chevrolet, find new roads. Let's pretend this is now the 7:00 hour, since we had Jay Moore in, and what we do now is play a little Take on Woods
For the first time this week.
Yes,
Holy
to end the week,
smokes.
we're like a week all the way through without one single game. So if you want to call in now to be our contestant, try to qualify for the Getaway to Las Vegas, 833-288-0973. Musical trivia, one-on-one against Woodsy coming up, 833-288-0973. Call now. We'll play our game, and then we'll take a break, and we'll come back and don't do this. Just like this is the 7:00 hour, since we bumped everything. And then stay tuned, because coming up in our 9:00 hour, we'll have Mark Grant joining us on a Friday.
Come on.
Television analyst for your San Diego Padres, but he's much more than that. He's the life of the party at Petco Park and on TV and in our living rooms every night.
Kind of the heartbeat,
I think so.
of the organization.
I mean, he's been doing television for the Padres now. What is his next quarter of a century?
Yeah.
I mean, that is incredible to have a run like that with one team. He is now, a full-fledged, almost half the franchise history now. Mudd has been calling games on television. It's incredible.
You just dated him.
I did not date Mudd.
You dated.
No, we never dated.
Well, you said that he's now done for half of the team's history.
Oh,
You dated.
I dated him in that way.
I don't mean you guys dated.
No.
You
I would
hooked
go
up,
on
but
a
you
date.
did.
I would go on a date.
In a heartbeat.
Mudd, quickly.
Beat.
What would we do?
Snazzy dresser.
Go out to a nice dinner.
You
I
know
bet he
what
knows
you
a
would-
lot of good restaurants.
You know what
in
you would
town.
do? You'd go to a nice dinner.
Yeah.
And then he would open his phone and show you YouTube videos
Yeah.
the entire night, because I've actually gone to a nice dinner with Mudd, and you know what he did? He showed me YouTube videos on his phone all night long.
I would like that, and that would be a fun night to spend with Mudd.
Paulie, I get to do it every fantasy camp. It's a blast.
And he shows us videos on his phone.
Hey, watch this kid.
You can't reference anything. You just
No.
that reminds me of
Check this. Remember this
video.
scene from Blues Brothers? You're like, oh my God. Yeah. Oh, you guys remember this part in Young Frankenstein? We do.
All right, looks
great.
like we got a contestant on the line.
All
Let's
right.
finally get to a game of Take on Woods. All right, let's go with Terry. You on the line? You ready to play today?
Yeah. He shows us video on his phone. Hey,
Terry, turn down your radio.
Oh, that reminds me of.
Oh, look at we can hear ourselves though.
Terry.
You're like, oh,
Look at that on delay. I'm listening to the
Terry?
Ben Woods program on delay.
Uh-huh.
We're still a few seconds away from introducing Terry though, so he doesn't know that I've just called on him to play Take on Woods.
Hang on.
That's
God dang it.
unfortunate. Tell me when Terry's good to go. All right, Terry, you are now our contestant on Take on Woods. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
There you go. All right, we got
All
Terry on the line. Here's what you're playing for. You've got a chance to qualify for our 2-night stay at Resorts World Las Vegas, 2 nights and tickets to Luke Bryan, the 5-time Entertainer of the Year, performing at the Resorts World Theater August 30th through September 9th. Tickets and VIP packages on sale now at access.com. That's AXS.com and RWLasVegas.com. You go first, and then Woods comes in. Same 5 questions. If you beat or tie him, we put you into the drawing. You get to pick our category. Your choices are the Butcher's Knife, 5 questions about musical meat, we're calling that one, the mystery category, or the periodic table, questions and song titles and artists that feature an element from the periodic table in the answers. So good one for the chemistry people. Butcher's Knife, mystery category, the periodic table. Terry, what's it going to be?
Let's try the mystery.
The mystery category. I always like these. These are fun. All right, so the mystery category is back. Means the 2-second song will be the theme for the other 4 answers. So it helps if you get it. Doesn't mean you can't score other points if you don't get that first one. But Paulie will play you the music, give us the title and the artist of the song, and then we'll go to the other 4 questions. If you don't know one, say pass. We'll come back to it if there's time left on the clock, and so on and so forth. Terry, you ready to play?
Yep.
All right. The mystery category is yours. 60 seconds on the clock. Your time begins when Paul plays our music.
Give me 1 second.
He's going to call up our 2-second song. All right, we're ready. Good luck, Terry. In the mystery category, let's Take on Woods.
Hurt myself today. That the Cure?
It's not. Let's go on to the next one. Culture Club's breakthrough single was which song whose title asks a painful question?
Oh, it is. A fumble for you?
No. John Mellencamp sings Sometimes Love Don't Feel Like It Should in which 1982 hit?
Mellow Yellow.
Incorrect. Many artists recorded it, but only Scottish hard rockers Nazareth made which song with a 2-word title a hit in the United States?
Love You.
Oh, close, but no. Michael Stipe recently said that Nazareth song inspired which 1993 REM emo hit? Tough without getting the 2-second song there because it was Hurt by 9 Inch Nails, and then every answer had Hurt in the title. Do You Really Want to Hurt Me by Culture Club, Hurts So Good by John Mellencamp, Love Hurts by Nazareth, and Everybody Hurts by REM. So, Terry, I don't like your chances here unless Woods gets shut out. I don't think that's ever happened.
I don't think
it has ever happened. All right, so he is back from his isolation. Gets the same 5 questions, same 60 seconds. Good luck, Woods. Paul, you ready to go?
I'm ready.
All right, time begins when the music starts. Let's take on Terry.
9 Inch Nails Hurt.
Correct. Culture Club's breakthrough single was which song whose title asks a painful question?
Do you really want to hurt me?
Correct. John Mellencamp sings Sometimes Love
Hurts So Good.
Correct. Many artists recorded it, but hard rockers Nazareth made which song with a 2-word
Love
title?
Hurts.
Correct. Michael Stipe recently said Nazareth's song inspired which 1993 REM emo hit?
Everybody Hurts.
Boom. 5 for 5. Oh, wait, Terry doesn't have to feel bad. He wasn't that close, as he didn't get any. Correct, so.
It was a mystery category. You had to get the first one.
Yeah, he didn't get the first one, which made it hard.
Ooh,
it was a mystery
If you were to
category.
get hurt, you would be able to kind of put that together.
Everything
maybe,
was
but
going to
you
be
didn't get the
hurt
first one,
after
and
that.
it's all downhill.
I just got called up from El Paso.
Good job.
I'm back in the bigs.
Good job. All right, we've got Don't Do This, an hour delayed coming up next. I've got Rob Manfred
I've got Conor McGregor
in my crosshairs.
What a story.
Yeah, we got a couple, and we got some breaking news, actually. We can just share that now. John Morant, he's been a subject of Don't Do This on many occasions. suspended 25 games to start next NBA season for his latest social media video waving a gun out there.
It's a lot of games.
It is.
Yeah.
Some people thought it would be more, half the season.
Yeah.
50, something like that. 25 is what John Morant gets. We got Don't Do This coming up next with Ben Woods on San Diego's #1 sports station, back after traffic here on 97.3 The Fan.
Now
It's time for Don't Do This.
What were you thinking?
3 stories from the world of sports that make us all shake our heads.
Why? How many times do I have to tell you?
I'm sorry, I fudged up, guys.
You idiot, you moron. Dumbass.
The apple sometimes does fall from the tree.
Don't Do This
Do not tweet that.
with Ben and Woods
I like a Nickelback song or two.
on 97.3 The Fan.
Well, I wasn't lying. Rob Manfred is in my crosshairs today, but I think it deserves more than just a don't do this short segment.
A cursory mention
for the commissioner of baseball. So we'll hold off
Okay.
on that for a couple of minutes and get to don't do this here. I will start in the world of soccer, kind of a double dip here. Last night, congratulations, U.S. men's national team. Yet another win over Mexico. Tres Acero this time. They beat them 3-0 in Las Vegas in the CONCACAF Nations League semifinal match. But on the field and in the stands is where the don't do this comes. At the end of the game, things started getting chippy, as they sometimes do between the U.S. and Mexico. Big rivals. Red cards started getting handed out, but the Mexican fans in green in the stands upset with their team's performance, with what was going. Who knows exactly what it was. They started doing what, unfortunately, too many Mexican soccer games have devolved into, and they were using an anti-gay, a homophobic chant. They stopped the game based on new FIFA rules. They won't tolerate that racist or homophobic chants in the crowd. Gave a warning, started the game up. There was like 15 minutes of stoppage time because of all the red cards and the stoppage. They played about 5 minutes of the stoppage time. The chant started again. And they said, "Game's over. We're not playing.
Just banged it right
We're
there.
not playing the last 10. It's over."
Man.
U.S. wins 3-0. Very ugly. But the other part of it is that during the game, reports came out that the U.S. men's national team is going to today hire a new head coach. They've been looking for the last 6 months since Greg Berhalter, who coached them in the World Cup last year, wasn't brought back. So the report is that the new coach of the U.S. men's national team is going to be Greg Berhalter. Which, if it sounds weird, soccer people will tell you this is incredibly weird. They hired a search firm to go out, scour the planet for the best soccer coach they could find for the next World Cup cycle. And the guy they ended up with is the guy that they let go 6 months ago. It's like if, they fired Jace Tingler, and then after 3 months of looking for a new manager, they decide, we're going to hire Jace Tingler as our new manager here of the San Diego Padres.
We were just kidding. No hard feelings. I have.
Now, technically, he wasn't fired. His contract expired, and they just weren't sure if they wanted to renew him.
So
but
let us so our contract is expiring at the end of the year. What if they said, "You guys kick it, take it to the house. If we're going to look around for another morning show." And then 3 months later, Adam calls begging us.
Or a search firm calls.
Yeah, search firm call. You guys interested in this morning show in San Diego? What is it? Sports station. Huh. I think I'm gonna have to tell him to pound sand. Don't you? I mean, that's just me. Now, this is a big job. It's a big job. and-
From the soccer fans in my timeline, they don't seem to like Greg Berhalter
Bro,
very much.
at
Obviously,
all.
there was
all my friends were livid.
the controversy at the World Cup and everything that went on there. I mean, they didn't do terribly, but the team didn't seem to necessarily all on the same page with Berhalter.
You had infighting.
Yeah.
You had parents tweeting and being upset. Padres, actually.
Yeah.
This is a pretty gnarly story. So when you were gone, we did Conor McGregor in Don't Do This, Ben, because they were doing a bit in Miami at the Heat
I
game.
saw that story.
Came out and he was duking around with the mascot. And he wham hits him in the side of the
Bernie,
head. Yeah,
the
Bernie.
mascot.
And Paulie and I kind of slowed the video down Zapruder style. And you're like, oh, yeah, he does, the big foam beak. He doesn't get him in the beak. He gets him like in the temple. That's Conor McGregor. So even him at 10%, like what would he do at 10% to your forehead? You're out. You're out cold.
Well, you're supposed to hit the big, soft, cushy part of the head where
He didn't.
the
McGregor
actual
at
guy's head is
10%.
not in there.
McGregor at 10% is still significantly worse than the average guy
Yeah,
if
yeah,
you were
at-
at a
at
bar or
100%.
something, like giving you everything he had behind it.
His fists are literally lethal weapons.
Yeah.
Lethal weapons. So he knocks this guy out cold. And I thought that was the end of the story. It was not. Apparently the night got worse. Allegedly, Conor McGregor. So yesterday it came out that video was obtained that shows Conor McGregor taking a woman by the hand, leading her into a bathroom where she says he sexually assaulted her. And the details that she told authorities pretty gnarly. Can't really read them on the air. I should have made Ben read them, but I'm not going to. So now the update to that story is, and by the way, that's the 4th sexual assault claim against Conor McGregor in the last few years. Conor McGregor's attorney, Barbara Lannis, says after the video was released by TMZ, the claimant's lawyer now has changed her story. Mr. McGregor welcomes the investigation, which he firmly believes will show the claims against him are false. After not responding to the demand for money made by the claimant's counsel, she turned to the media to apply pressure. This is no more than a shakedown. Certainly is possible. There is the video, and I watched the video that was on TMZ, and it's Conor McGregor pulling her and a friend into the bathroom, and then a bunch of guys kind of guarding the door and not letting anybody else in. So at least that part.
I know it's weird as I'll go home and you'll see Conor McGregor with a whiskey ad, and
Yeah.
know.
There's a documentary about him on Netflix now. I mean, it's and
I think that just came out.
Yeah.
Probably not great timing.
Yeah,
there
for sure.
Finally, a little do this uplifter on a Friday.
DD mega doo doo.
You see last night before the game at Petco Park, Padres had Make-A-Wish kid Eric, 6-year-old there.
Yes, so sweet.
Such great video. He signed a 1-day contract with the team, was there for Bob Melvin's pregame news conference. I don't know why Eric didn't get to decide on who the starting pitcher was for last night. Probably would have gone with Yu Darvish.
Yeah, probably.
If
Try to
Eric
get
had
that
made
sweep.
the call and the Padres would have swept that series. Got to play catch with Fernando. He's so good with the kids.
So good.
He's so good with those kids when they show up. And then during the game, they announced Eric in attendance, and I mean the biggest ovation. I mean, it was louder than when Manny hit the home run.
It was awesome.
Cheering for Eric last night. Such a cool moment. Such a special thing. It's the power of it's power of baseball. It's the power of the Padres. Power of Petco Park, and I always love to see when they use that power for good.
Would have been nice to get him a dub last night.
It would have, yeah. Well, I don't blame Eric for that one for sure. And that is Don't and Do This for a Friday.
That was Don't Do This with Ben and Woods on 97.3 The Fan.
All right, Rob Manfred, don't think you got off just because you didn't hear your name during Don't Do This. At least one former major leaguer is calling for the commissioner of baseball to step aside after comments he made yesterday about the Oakland A's and their move. We'll get to that. We'll take your phone calls on the Padres. I know we said that before, and then Jay Morse showed up, and we've been kind of spinning around on a Friday. But if you want to call now, this would be a good time. 833-288-0973. It's Ben and Woods on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. This hour on 97.3 The Fan is brought to you by South Norte Tequila Cocktails. Savor South Norte, Mexican-inspired premium tequila cocktails made with real tequila and real juice. Sip on a classic margarita and an authentic Paloma, or crack open a Matador or the Mexican Mule. Pick yours up at Stater Brothers, Ralph's, Costco, and more. I don't think Rob Manfred can help himself.
Just to not be a smarmy
stick his foot in his mouth.
PR
again.
word. I can't say that. Right.
Roger Goodell set the bar pretty high as far as being like dirtbag of a commissioner. Now he does. Look, he's also one of the best in the world at their job. Like,
right.
What his job is to be the mouthpiece for the owners.
He's the best.
Make them money. He's very, very good at what he does. Roger.
Very
Goodell.
adept.
But he's a dirtbag and he sucks.
Yeah. But he knows how to play.
Rob Manfred says, "Oh, really?"
He knows how to play the game, and Rob Manfred just can't quite get it right. Have his comment that has drawn the ire of many around baseball, including one former player says he needs to go right after this check of traffic.
He's got to go.
The fans. He's got to go.
Go.
From the Premier Chevrolet of Carlsbad Traffic Center, part of the Premier Auto family, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is sponsored by Premier Chevrolet of Carlsbad. Got a collision on the westbound 8 right before College. Those vehicles are over the right shoulder. And watch out for a stalled vehicle in the center divide on northbound 5 just before Claremont Drive. Coach Quintero and Joe Musgrove's Choice. They're a different kind of dealership looking to be a solid community partner and deliver excellent service. Premier Chevrolet of Carlsbad. Chevrolet finds new roads. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben & Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
So Commissioner Rob Manfred had a press conference yesterday. I guess it was previously scheduled, but obviously a lot of the questions ended up being about the Oakland A's and what looks like an impending move to Las Vegas. It's down to basically there's nothing standing in the way now. The Nevada legislature has approved it. The governor is going to sign it. The owners are going to rubber stamp it. And whatever the timeline is, the A's will be the Las Vegas A's in the next few years, and they're going to build a stadium right there on the Strip where the Tropicana Hotel is currently standing. The headline of the story is Commissioner feels sorry for A's fans in Oakland, because he did. He said that. I feel sorry for the fans in Oakland. I do not like this outcome. I understand why they feel the way they do. I think the real question is, what is it that Oakland was prepared to do? There is no Oakland offer. They never got to the point where they had a plan to build a stadium at any site. All right, so if he left it at that, whatever. That's what we expect. The Oakland mayor begs to differ, Woods, says, we were like at the 2-yard line.
We got it right here.
Okay.
Oakland mayor was reached out to by Casey Pratt from ABC7. And the quote was, "This is just totally false. There was a very concrete proposal under discussion. Oakland had gone above and beyond to clear hurdles, including securing funding for infrastructure, providing an environmental review, and working with other agencies to finalize approvals. The reality is the A's ownership had insisted on a multi-billion-dollar 55-acre project that included a ballpark, residential, commercial, and retail space. In Las Vegas, for whatever reason, they seem satisfied with a 9-acre leased ballpark on leased land. If they had proposed a similar project in Oakland, we feel confident a new ballpark would already be under construction. Oakland showed its commitment to the A's, and that is why the A's belong in Oakland."
So bottom line, Rob Manfred is probably lying through his teeth, but I will grant him that he's doing his job when he's lying through his teeth. His owner wants to move.
Yep.
And the other owners seem to be okay with it.
So he's got to push it through.
It's his job to figure it out, push it through, take the heat, and then lie about it, at a podium when he's asked questions.
Yep.
That's his job. It's distasteful. It's gross, but that's what he's supposed to do. Where he can't help himself, where he goes over the line, crosses it, and becomes the smarmy Rob Manfred who once called the World Series trophy just a hunk of metal, is when he was asked about the reverse boycott that A's fans participated in, and that everyone seemed to think was pretty cool moment. A's players talked about it, said, hey, one of the coolest moments of my career, getting to see that intensity, that passion again from A's fans who showed up at the Coliseum, despite how dismal the season is, how dismal their stadium is. And here was Rob Manfred's response. June Lee tweeted this out. We've had June on before. Quote, "I mean, it was great. It's great to see what this year is almost an average Major League Baseball crowd in the facility for one night. That's a great thing." And I may be adding some of the smarminess to it, but not much. That is a smarmy quote by Rob Manfred, insulting really every A's fan who took the time to buy a ticket to go and show their support for a team. Almost 30,000 people who showed up for your product, your game, to show you how much they loved your game and loved their team. And that was the response he had. Oh, it's basically an average crowd everywhere else. And that was the best you could do.
And once again, the onus gets put on the fans. And just like it did here, and just like it did there. And what so many people don't understand is that John Fisher, that's his name, John Fisher.
Yes.
I'm going to use a story that was told to us by somebody whose name I will not reveal, but knows Dean Spanos extremely well.
Oh, yeah.
And at dinner one night, Dean Spanos said to this person, I don't care what happens. I want to go to LA. I can be a big shot in LA. That was a quote.
Dean, it's not going to work.
It's not going to work. I want to be a big shot in LA. That's what he said. His quote. We could have run some sort of fundraiser and raised a gazillion dollars and said, here, build it. We will come. And he would have said, no, couldn't get the red tape. There would have been an excuse. It was in his mind. He was going to do it. No matter what, he was going to push it through. And the same goes for John Fisher. You think John Fisher would rather live in Oakland, or do you think he'd rather live in Las Vegas and be a hot S in Las Vegas? He's got it in his mind. That's what he wants to do. He owns the team. He's within his rights to do it. Doesn't mean he's not a scumbag.
And the excuse is the same. It's the fans and it's the stadium. Oh, well, Qualcomm Stadium was falling apart. It was trash. That was true, as is the Oakland Coliseum, falling apart and trash. But why is that the case? Yankee Stadium isn't falling apart. It's not trash. You know, Fenway Park has been around for a century. Not trash. Why is it not trash? Well, those teams and those owners have invested in their own product. Peter Seidler has invested a ton in keeping Petco Park. Petco Park opened within like 5 years of Chase Field in Arizona, which is kind of falling apart. And they're looking for a new ballpark because they haven't kept it up. They haven't put the investment into it. Petco Park gets better every year because the Padres care about it.
Yep.
And they want it to be better. John Fisher never wanted the Coliseum to be better. He wanted it to be as bad as possible, just like Dean Spanos never put in new video boards, anything to improve the experience. You know why? He wanted it to look as bad as possible. So then they could point at that as the excuse. Well, we have to move the team. We have one of the worst stadiums in the league. Well, you do, but whose fault is that? It's your own fault. It's because you didn't invest in your own team and your own product over the years. You didn't invest
because the fans didn't fix the plumbing.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, and also the fans didn't trade Matt Olson. The fans didn't trade Josh Donaldson. The fans didn't trade on and on and on and on and on and on and on. The Matt Chapman, the list goes on and on and on over the last 20 years. Fans didn't do that. And you put those guys there and you pay them, that young, brilliant core that you had drafted and developed. The fans are going to come because you're in the playoffs every year. We've seen 55,000 in that stadium during the playoffs. We've seen it.
What sucks the most about, I think, what Manfred said about the A's fans yesterday. I know some A's fans. I know Bay Area fans in general. They are good fans, good baseball fans.
They were good football fans.
They were good football fans as well. Now, I know a lot of people here when the Chargers left said, I'm done with the NFL.
Sure.
When my beloved Sonics got relocated in 2008, I said, I'm done with the NBA. I've come back a little bit, but mostly just whatever's on, you know, I'll see the big matchups.
You're waiting for a Vegas team. We know that.
Pretty much waiting for a Vegas team. But no, but
Vegas, volley
But
Vegas.
I just said, I'm done. Now, if you're a Bay Area baseball fan, Rob Manfred gave you the finger and you're saying, I am maybe in 5-10 years, I would become a Giants fan or I would become another fan of another team. Like, you have spoiled the sport for me.
Yeah, you ruined
I'm
the sport.
done for life.
It is harder. You know, it is harder for a lot of people to watch the NFL now.
It is.
Well, as you can
feel dirty watching it.
Yeah,
I do,
of
at
course
least.
I do. Yeah. As you'd expect, Rob Manfred taking criticism for that comment. One person who was not shy, Brandon McCarthy.
Never is.
His tweet responding to that quote was, "This is bleeping pathetic. How is this not disqualifying? This toad is the steward of a glorious sport dripping with history, and he feels entitled to mock fans who are making their voices heard as he sits by and caters to hiding billionaires. Why do we accept this in our culture?" Pretty much a call for Rob Manfred to go as commissioner of baseball from Brandon McCarthy.
Well, why do we accept this in our culture? Because we are a money-driven culture, and in the owners,
we don't accept it. We just have no power.
Yeah, you have no power.
I mean, if it's up to you right now,
would he be commissioner? No.
Rob Manfred stays or goes.
Gone.
So you don't accept it.
Joey Votto.
You just don't
put
have
in
the,
as commissioner.
You don't have the
today.
power to do anything about
Correct.
it. Well, it's,
I don't accept it.
Nor do the rest of us.
Right.
The people who have the power, they care about the money, and they care about having a puppet that they can control and can be.
But the problem is that cash rules everything around us, right? Cash rules everything around us.
Creo.
It should be cream,
right?
But not me, because cash does not rule everything around me. It doesn't. What you've done now, again, Brandon McCarthy's biggest mistake was calling the commissioner a steward of the game. That's not what a commissioner is anymore. Bud Selig is a guy that proved that to us. Bud Selig was not a steward of the game of baseball. He just wasn't. And for all his faults,
Bud Selig was a pioneer.
He was a pioneer.
Because before Bud Selig, in baseball and other sports, the commissioner was a steward, was more impartial. They at least balanced like the needs of the owners with the needs of the players and the fans. And it was their job to foster growth in the sport, but also to be a bit more of an impartial voice. After Bud Selig, every owner realized, why would we have someone that we can't control fully
correct
in charge of our sport?
Yeah.
We need a 100% puppet. And then in came Roger Goodell, in came Rob Manfred, and now commissioners. I mean, Adam Silver's probably the best. But
make no mistake, though. I mean, make no mistake. Just because you own a baseball team doesn't mean you like baseball. That just doesn't. It's not the case. We all love to. Every person listening to my voice right now has put themselves in a position of owner of a baseball team. Every single person hearing that is like, "Oh yeah, I've done that. I've done that. How would I be? I know how I would be. I'd be miserable. It'd be miserable. It'd be a miserable existence." We all want to put ourselves in those shoes, but those guys. I don't even know. I wonder if half of them actually love baseball.
30
like
owners
we
in
do.
baseball. How many
love
would consider themselves fans,
Yeah.
care about the product, care about the future, the direction of their franchise?
Willing to eat a little bit to make it the game better, whatever it may be.
Maybe 10-ish.
10-ish.
Somewhere
That's
in
a
there.
third. That's a
Everybody
third.
else, it is literally just a business.
And I think the
operation for them.
last commissioner that actually liked the game of baseball was probably Bart Giamatti, who respected it and understood the traditions of it and would say, "No, I'm ruling with an iron fist here because what you're doing is bad for the game." Now it's, I'm going to move all these pieces around. I'm going to juggle. I'll take the bullets. I need $40 million a year, and I'll take the bullets. Enjoy Las Vegas, my friend. It doesn't matter. The guy wants out. He's going to get out.
It seems short-sighted, but no one's going to get punished over this.
No.
John Fisher is
The
going
fans, that's
to
it.
make a ton of money thanks to public subsidies in Nevada, and he's going to be fine. The only people who are
fans.
losing are the A's fans,
Just like
that are
San
losing their
Diegans,
team,
man.
Just like San Diego fans. It's not, no one's going to stop watching baseball.
Nope.
Not that we want them to, but the consequences won't be to the sports. They won't be to the owners. They won't be to the players. Just to the fans that are losing their team.
Guy's going to be kicking it in a penthouse suite
The
of
only
an
people who
apartment
did
somewhere
nothing
in
wrong.
Vegas.
The
just
only
loving
people
it.
who did nothing wrong are the ones who suffer all the consequences of the
And
decision.
do you wonder if there will
always
be
the case.
any sort of repercussions as far as like the TV viewership, at least? Because Vegas is like the 40th market,
Yeah.
I think, right?
Well,
Somewhere there.
yesterday,
because Oakland is not
Oakland's
Oakland,
like
it's the
top
Bay,
10.
It's the Bay Area
Yeah.
market. So half of those fans are saying, "I'm done. I'm not watching baseball."
Eno
anymore."
said yesterday they might even have. He thought some owners might vote no, just because they
Yeah.
don't want to
More revenue sharing.
Yeah, they don't want the lower.
But
have
they'll
to share revenue with Las Vegas because it's a small TV market.
But the
now.
funny thing is all those owners, you know how they'll pitch it in the public? This is bad for the game. This is bad for baseball. Oakland deserves the A's. That's not what it's about. Those guys are like, you're taking money out of my pocket.
They'll
for
work
your
behind the scenes,
Yeah.
and they'll have to take in order to move. They're going to have to take a lower share or
Yep.
something like that. All the owners will get theirs in the end, and the fans will be the ones left holding the bag.
As we always are. As we always are.
Reminder that we feel very lucky to have Peter Seidler as the owner,
100%.
and even though it doesn't guarantee you a World Series title or even a 500 record at this point in the season, you do still feel like Peter Seidler cares about the game, cares about the fans, cares about the team.
I mean, the hunk of
At this
metal.
point, he's one of the 10 for sure. If that's what it is, I don't even know if it's 10. You feel like he's one of them.
The hunk of metal comment just sent me when he said it years ago. When he talked about the World Series trophy, and then, listen, at the end of the day, it's just a hunk of metal. That sent me over the edge. I mean, I don't know. Like, that was something that people should have looked at right then and there and said, all right, it was a flippant comment. You're not going to fire a guy over a flippant comment, but let's keep our eyes peeled on this SOB. And I think a lot of people have. If you've never had a chance to listen to the Dan Le Batard interview with Rob Manfred, do yourself a favor today and Google that. You want to hear a guy get pantsed on live television? That's what Le Batard did to Rob Manfred. And frankly, he deserves more of that. He really does. He's the worst commissioner of my lifetime by far. Not close. Not close. Trying to think of all the ones I've seen and remembered. Once I started knowing baseball, what a commissioner did when I was 13, 14, I've seen some good ones. I've seen some bad ones, but they are progressively getting worse.
I've pretty much only known Bud Selig and Rod Manfred in my lifetime.
It's progressively
Not
worse.
great.
So, but again, what is the bottom line? The bottom line is the bottom line. That's what it is. It's all they care about is the cash, not the future of the game, not to be a good steward of baseball. That's all they care about.
The ultimate job, though, of a commissioner, while it is the bottom line, is you're also supposed to be kind of the PR steward for your sport as well.
I mean, look at Jay Monahan right now. Look at Jay Monahan, the commissioner of the PGA or whatever his title is. He's up there just 96 to the ribs every day for the goodness of nothing else but cash.
Rob Manfred should be the one who's making an angry phone call behind the scenes to someone who says a quote like Rob Manfred says.
100%.
He's the one who quietly calls an
you?
owner and goes, Joe, I can't believe you said that.
How dare you?
This is not good for the game. I don't want to hear that coming out of your mouth again. We know it's all whatever, but you don't say anything like that. He's the one who should be stopping other people from doing what he does.
I know. He's saying it. He's an embarrassment. He's been an embarrassment since he took office. He's got no business in that position. He's over his skis. He always has been. And he has no idea. The worst bedside manner of a commissioner I've ever heard in my entire life. How do you F this game up? How do you do it?
The crazy thing is the owners could find 1,000 other people who would do the job for a fraction of what they're probably paying Rob Manfred and do it better than he's doing and still be puppets and still be what the owners want them to do. Why they accept Rob Manfred and pay him as much as they do, I have no idea. I really don't. We interviewed Rob Manfred once.
Yeah,
it was like the second day of our show. We weren't quite equipped yet to do the Dan Le Batard style interview.
We're still not equipped to do the Dan Le Batard style interview.
If I was able to get Rob Manfred on the show, how would that go from your guys?
We both probably just go, I don't know.
It would be a hell of a lot better today than it was 5 years ago. I would not care. What do I care? What are you going to do? Are you going to kick me off the team? I don't even have – I pay to play, buddy. Ugh, it's terrible, man.
You get live coverage of every Padres game on 97.3 The Fan. It's available through the Odyssey app wherever you are in the San Diego area. You can listen to every pitch of every Padres game on Odyssey. Download the free Odyssey app. Search 97.3 The Fan to get started. All right, we've got 1 hour left. It's a Friar Friday. Mark Grant is going to be joining us at 9:35 in our final segment. Before that, though, Paulie's got a Rindle report with some headlines, a little breaking news involving one Michael Jordan. That's coming up next. Stay tuned to San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. Can I, for just a moment, since we've talked about everything we've disliked about the game yesterday, the decisions we disagreed with, can we take a moment to appreciate Ha-Sung Kim and what he continues to do? Little things,
God,
the
it's fun to
hustle.
watch, man.
He is the scoring from the first of all, the taking of third on the sacrifice fly, sliding right through a broken bat to get there. I mean, that was a play, Woods, where you've got a runner, you first and second, fly ball to right field, and the runner tagging from second to third. Ha-Sung Kim has to make a really good read right there. I mean, to decide when you're following up behind the runner.
You know how many times I've been thrown out of that? 100
Have
in
you?
my whole life. Yes, it's like the hardest base running thing to do. You're like, should I go? Should I go?
Gets to second,
Is he going?
Gets
Is he
to
really
third,
going?
slides in there, scores from second on a dribbler to the infield. The awareness. I mean, he's got such good base running awareness. Obviously, he's one of the best defensive infielders in all of baseball. And offensively, he's not hurting the team. I mean, he's certainly not an all-star superstar type slugger, but he gets a hit or two here or there. He's helping the team. He moves the line along from here or there, but everything else that he does has been very valuable to the Padres this season. And he almost won that game for the Padres last night, just with heads up base running and being a smart, heady baseball
He's
player.
a good ass baseball player, man.
Yep.
He's got a really, really high baseball IQ, a very, very high baseball IQ. And he makes plays like that all the time. He's one of those. We're seeing it, and I feel bad because like with Manny and his defense, you just get so used to it. It's just like just made another backhand play on a 104-mile-an-hour liner that two hopped him and he picked it no problem and threw a strike across the diamond, right, hits Crony right in the chest. We see it all the time with Ha-Sung Kim. And we just gotten used to it. So he doesn't get the publicly lauded, mostly because he's not the offensive force that Manny can be. But Ha-Sung Kim is just as valuable as it gets. We said it yesterday. He's valuable as it gets. I think he's now tied for the team lead in steals. I think Fernando caught him last night. But
by the way, one of the better 0 for 2s you're ever going to see from Fernando Tatis Jr. Didn't get a hit, but walked 3 times. I love the patience we're seeing. Made another couple of terrific defensive plays. I mean, plays that guys who have been in right field for their entire career would have no chance of making. The one in foul territory, it was a nice jumping catch, the one he went back. That was a very good play. The one in foul territory that he made running toward the line, I thought was remarkable. He kicked it into like Usain Bolt overdrive speed. And I was terrified because he might make this catch, but he is going to slam into the railing at 35 miles an hour and he's going to hurt himself. But no, he gets to the railing, puts the brakes on, and essentially almost makes it look like a routine catch over right. I mean, it was a remarkable catch by Fernando Tatis Jr. last night.
Yeah, in a series of remarkable plays that he continues to make out in right field. Again, you look at it and go, man, that's such a solid move by the Padres to get him out there. So many people thought it was going to hurt his value. I think he's been incredible. And now it's got me questioning. It's got me questioning. Well, I know center fielders that hit a lot and hit for power and are fast and play great defense. I know they don't grow on trees. I'm going, do I really want to move Fernando out there, or do I just want to look at this and say, this is where you are, kid, this is your position?
I think
for this year,
I think for now you leave him out there for this year, but if you had to, if Trent Grisham goes down and you can't play him anymore,
he's our center fielder.
I think you give him a week or two, he'll start playing center almost as well as he's been playing right field. I mean, the adjustment to right, he had spring training that
a couple
helped
of
him,
weeks ago. Eno was talking about that, and he goes, center field is the premier position. You want a superstar player with superstar player ability in center field. You can find a right fielder.
Yeah,
but I don't know that move needs to be necessarily made right now. But I would say in the offseason, it would not surprise me if Tatis is your
well, you leave your
center
options
fielder
open. If you can find a first baseman who hits, you can find a right fielder who hits, and then you can move people over as necessary to add to your lineup without really hurting your defense too much.
He's playing it so well, though, at such a high level, and has settled in. And again, seems to be very happy.
Given off season, there's any reason to believe he wouldn't do that in center?
None whatsoever. And I think now he is finally in that headspace of, I'm an outfielder, and I'm going to do what's best for the team. And he has, and he's hitting different positions, and he's playing different positions. And
let's prognosticate 12 years from now, whatever it is, 11 years from now,
he's gonna be back in right field.
Tatis's Padres career, what positions will he play games at?
Ooh, it's a good question. So I don't know how many he has at shortstop. It's not a ton, but he's got games at short. He's got games in center. He's got games in right. Don't put DH in. But as far as on the diamond, how many will he actually play?
I think if he, over the 14-year career, my guess is
4.
The majority of them will be in center field eventually.
That's my guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going back to shortstop. I know there was talk, hey, Bogarts could slide over at some point and Tatis could come back to short. I don't necessarily see that happening.
So far in 321 games played in his career, 242 at shortstop. 9 in center field, 66 in right field.
Okay.
3 DH. So
it's
242 at short.
I say it just because it's hard to find a good center fielder.
It is.
I don't know that Trent Grisham is going to be on this team for another 8 years because he just doesn't hit enough. And instead of having to go sign and another premier center fielder and pay a ton of money, it makes a lot more sense to just move Tatis over, whether it's this offseason or the offseason after that. Eventually, that's where he's going to be. And I could see him out there for, 7 or 8 years.
Why do you have to have a superstar in center field?
You don't have to.
I think it's just the more valuable position of the 3 outfield spots.
I think if you have a guy who can play
he's your captain,
top-notch defense and hits in center field, though, you can go and find someone to play a corner outfield spot a lot easier than you can find someone who can be productive and play center field at the same time. Padres found a great defensive center fielder. He can't hit right now, or maybe ever again.
They don't the game for us last night. He gets one every now and then.
He does. He does. I mean, if he could get one every
3 games,
I mean, just
5 games,
a little bit more, I would be fine with Trent Grisham out there. But how many guys are out there that are even available that play great center field? It's a tough position to fill.
Very tough position to find.
So is catcher, as we've learned.
Yeah, you want to be strong up the middle. Always strong up the middle. Doesn't necessarily have to be a superstar. Just strong defensively. Catcher, short, second, center.
But I wouldn't be surprised if the 2026 starting lineup features Tatis in center, Bogarts at short, Cronenworth at second, and Ethan Salas behind the plate. Those are
Next
strong
year?
up the 2026.
2026.
Strong up the middle. They're all still those 3 guys they'll all be under contract with the Padres still.
Yeah.
At that point.
Who's our
what happens to Kim?
Well, he's only under contract for 1 more year. He may get re-signed. I don't know.
Where's Manny go from third? First? I think he'd be a great first baseman.
Him and Xander.
Him and Xander duking it out for first base in about 6 years.
I mean, what's the age difference? There's only like a year or 2, right?
Yeah. Who's younger? Manny's younger, right?
Manny just turned 30.
And Xander's 31?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't see Manny leaving third for another
30.
Xander could go to second.
Xander turns 31 in October.
Okay.
I mean, Manny's skills are such he doesn't have the maximum range for a third baseman right now, but he's got the hand. I don't know that the hands are changing, so he might be there until he's 37, 38. At that point, we'll worry about it then. All right, let's get some headlines, Paulie.
And get things started here with our today's edition of the Reindl Report.
Now tuned into the greatest.
Welcome to the Reindl Report with Paul Reindl.
Hi, Paul. All right.
2 stories from the world of sports that we haven't gotten to yet.
We'll start off in Major League Baseball.
And 1 story that you didn't know you needed.
Are you laughing, biatch?
It's the Reindl Report
Hey, Paul, how you doing? Okay, how are you?
on 97.3 The Fan.
Are you ready to bless the mood? I need some help, please.
That was good.
Can I get a oh yeah? Oh yeah.
All right.
All right.
All right. Benjamin, you teased it heading into the top of the hour there. Some news about Michael Jordan, and according to sources, we had a Woj bomb earlier this morning. Michael Jordan agreeing to sell his majority stake in the Charlotte Hornets to a group for an approximate $3 billion. Good to see that for Michael Jordan. Probably could use the money.
Needed the cash.
Yeah.
Well, he's in the golf business now, and that's very expensive.
It ends his 13-year run as the majority owner, and
Not good.
Like shocking how bad it was for like somebody that was so good at what they did.
It's the worst job you could have.
Like
if you're-
rewrote the record book on the sport.
Yeah, it's the worst job you could have if you're a guy like Michael Jordan. It's the worst job you can have because you can't. They're never gonna make you happy. Never. They never can. Derek Jeter owning the Marlins, which drove him crazy. I'm sure drove him crazy.
0 finals appearances, 0 conference finals appearances, 0 semifinals
Oh my God.
appearances, 0 first round playoff series won.
This just goes to show you that you can be good at a lot of things. You can be great at a couple of things. Can't be good at everything.
No kidding. I mean, no kidding.
Like, who doesn't know basketball better than Michael Jordan?
Yeah, but like, how do you can't go down there?
It just doesn't
I
translate.
can't play the game for you guys. I bet he was the worst owner to play for too. I wonder if he meddled like
He's a
crazy.
terrible teammate, according to everybody.
Yeah.
He's got to be a bad owner as well.
Terrible teammate but the fact is, like,
Didn't he like try to like play in practice? There was like stories that he would play like Kwame Brown.
he would like go up against him in practice.
do it like
Dude,
this.
the owner's here. Like David Field comes down here and plays adult league baseball with me one weekend. It's very strange that it really doesn't translate.
He can focus on his the Grove 23 Golf Club.
You want to talk about bucket lists? Do yourself a favor and
I'd
Google,
almost be too terrified.
go Google the Grove 23.
XXIII.
It looks when you die, Ben. When we die, that's what I hope heaven to be. Just endless rounds for eternity at the Grove 23. It is so
The
beautiful.
most exclusive, upscale,
It's so beautiful.
incredible golf club, and that's what Jordan has been focusing on lately.
It's so beautiful. I would do anything for a round there. Anything.
This could maybe have been a don't do this. Antonio Brown, Mount Rushmore of don't do this.
He's two of the faces on Mount Rushmore.
It's actually just 4 heads of Antonio
heads.
Brown.
Different teams.
My God.
Nude
dude.
in one of them.
He was in the news yesterday because so back in April, he became the majority owner of the the Albany Empire.
Yep.
Out of the National Arena League, arena football team. And yesterday they were kicked out of the league.
Oh.
Because
Did not
team
know that.
owner Antonio Brown failed to pay either a required fee or a fine that he received after public comments that he made recently.
If not paying bills was cool, he is Miles Davis.
I mean, this is a shocking story. I understand that.
He never, ever pays his bills.
Why would you let him into a league if you're
No kidding.
You know why?
I mean,
you know why?
for the publicity.
That's the only reason.
And now they're getting publicity from kicking him out of the league as well.
Now you got that publicity.
It says all teams are required to pay 1/7 of the NAL operating budget via monthly transactions. The league said Brown made the April payment, but did not pay the May 15th installment or the $1,000 fine for conduct detriments to the league. It says here from the league statement, after exhausting all avenues, the NAL board of owners have decided unanimously to terminate the membership agreement of the Albany Empire. The decision was reached after an emergency conference call of the members in good standing to discuss the Empire's failure to pay their league-mandated and overdue assessments. I, for one, am shocked.
But we'll have another don't do this story with Antonio in a few weeks, I'm sure.
Guaranteed.
It's also a little lighter note, maybe. Could have been a don't do this. You guys familiar with Disney movies? All the characters.
Yes, I'm very familiar with Disney
Oh,
movies.
are you?
Yes.
Okay. What's your favorite one?
Coco.
Okay. A lot of the characters, like you think of Little Mermaid or Aladdin, like they're handsome cartoon characters. Can we all agree on that?
Yes.
So now the new thing is the live action movies. And the Ottawa Sun posted a story that casting bosses working on a live action remake for The Little Mermaid, which is coming out.
Okay.
They really wanted to use, quote, sexy male models to portray the mermen in the film. Among the sexy male models hired to be mermen in the live-action Little Mermaid film was 24-year-old Stefano Tomadini. He's also a male porn actor. Goes by the name of Dante Ferrari and has made many adult movies. And people are not super psyched with Disney for that casting.
He's trying to branch out to change his life for the better.
Different image.
Massively different image. Dante what? Ferrari? It's a great name. That's a great name.
Dante Ferrari.
Dante Ferrari.
It's
your real name?
It's The Little Mermaid. It's a kids movie. It's
Dante
live action.
Ferrari.
You're going to be advertising to kids. Just maybe
Starring
not
Dante Ferrari.
Hey, everybody should be able to have a diversified career.
Portfolio.
Just because you've acted in one set of films doesn't mean you can't act in completely different set. That's why it's called acting.
Acting.
It's acting. You have to be able to portray a wide range of characters.
What was your name again if you were a male?
Ben Hoggins. Thank you, Paulie.
Ben Hoggins. You're
So
welcome.
we got Mudcat at the bottom of the hour. When if you're of mine and Woods' age, I distinctly remember watching Saturday Night Live in college and losing it when Jay Moore would come in and do his Christopher Walken impression on the show. One of my absolute favorites. He actually did it for us in studio.
It's incredible.
A couple of hours ago. Paulie's
some highlights.
He's just kind of condensed it all
Condensed
into the very best of Jay Moore from this morning. We're going to play that coming up next.
We had Christopher Walken.
Yeah.
Colin Quinn.
Yep.
Al Pacino.
Brilliant.
It's so
Tracy
funny, man.
Morgan.
Tracy Morgan. Yeah.
Have that for you coming up after a check of traffic here on 97.3 The Fan. All right, Tampa Bay Rays coming to town tonight. I've heard they're good. 50-22 is not a bad record.
That is pretty solid.
Have very little to complain about if you're a Tampa Bay Rays fan. There aren't that many of them, though. Attendance is quite poor at their games.
Sure is, man.
Got a kind of a dismal ballpark that's been around for a long time, indoors.
Just split a series with the Oakland A's, by the way. 1-2, lost 2.
I think it's my turn to set our over-under. We haven't had an over-under wager all week
I'm
since
down
I was off.
$70 to you.
I'm on a hot streak. I think I was down 10. I think I've won the last like 8 in a row to get up to 70. So for the series upcoming this weekend, I will set the over-under just on Padres wins at 1.5. So basically, you're trying to decide, will the Padres win the series or lose the series against the Tampa Bay Rays?
I'm going to take the over. We're going to win
series
this
win. All right.
Series.
I would gladly lose that $10 bet
100%.
to you.
In fact, if you give me $10 right now for that, you would.
I would buy that from you right
And you're
now for
cheap
$10,
as
and I would
balls, too,
easily buy
so-
that because you know what, a series win this weekend to me means that the Padres are back.
Yeah,
it'd be their third series win in a row. This one would come against a team that there's no question, they're a playoff World Series contending team. And it would continue the momentum they've been building over these last couple of weeks. Offensively, there's been some stumbles, obviously, but you keep winning series 2 out of 3. The Padres will be absolutely fine at the end of the season. Now, I do think you mentioned it earlier. Not a bad time to catch the Rays. They have won 2 in a row. But they lost the previous 2, splitting 4 games against the Oakland A's. And this is the end of their West Coast week. No off day. They got to play 4 in Oakland, then come down to San Diego. You know how tough it is sometimes when the Padres have to go to the East Coast and do the Florida, New York, Washington, D.C. type trip. Well, same thing goes for the East Coast teams when they have to come out west, spend an entire week. You get to the weekend, you're ready for it to be over, get home, get back to your ballpark. Seems like a good time to be catching the Tampa Bay Rays this weekend.
Yeah, it never works out that way. The betting line, both teams are -110 tonight, so they got them even. But I'm looking at the matchup predictor on ESPN. Doesn't look like they're giving the Padres much of a chance to win this game tonight. 65-35, essentially, for tonight's game. Then you got Blake Snell on the bump against Zach Eflin, who's had a good season as well, but he's beatable. I've just watched him get beat.
The Tampa Bay Rays win almost 70% of their games. Their winning percentage is .694. So put them up against anyone, and you figure there's 65 to 70% chance to win. You throw Shane McClanahan on the mound. The fact that they only have it at 65 is not. It's not. Anything to be sad about if you're a Padres fan.
Yeah, it just and then with Joe on the mound, I believe that game's on Sunday, and they're throwing undecided, and they still give the Rays a 60% chance of winning that game because again, they've won a lot of games, they've proven they can win. So this would be, you're right, man.
They're only 19-15 away from home.
I'm tired of saying that how big of a series this one is because I don't even know that it needs to be said anymore. We all know. I think we can abolish.
Padres aren't going to win every series the rest of the season.
Correct, but I think we can ban it from our vernacular sports radio host. Guys, big series coming up. Yeah, they're all big. You've dug yourself into a hole. These are all big series from here on out. Until they're not big series anymore, and that could be a good thing or a really, really bad thing.
All right, we got Mudcat coming up at the bottom of the hour, but as promised, Paulie has put together the best of the Jay Moore impressions from when he joined us in studio earlier today. Let's just take a listen.
I saw Jay for the first time. It's been so long, but it was back in Dallas, Texas when I lived there. And
that's where we met.
In Dallas. And I told the story. I tell the story all the time, and I still do the impression, your time on the movie Suicide Kings. And if you haven't seen that movie yet, you're missing out on just a banger of a film with a great cast.
A banger.
But on that cast was Christopher Walken.
A banger, as the kids would say. What's up with your Padres? It's crazy. Starting pitching, you need that bridge to the bullpen. Close out the show. Don't get me started on Manny Machado
When do you guys hire Al Pacino as your manager?
Al Pacino is here.
Soto, I need to talk to you about your base on balls. I am not paying you to take 4 and walk. Hit the ball over the fence. You could be a man. Hoorah.
I'm dead. I am.
Where is Ken Cameron? Whoops, never mind.
Oh, Jay. Man. How about Colin Quinn? What would he have to say?
Let's not make a big deal out of it. I mean, what are we going to do? There's a dog park in Centerfield, you know? Petco Park, you know? Give me a couple of milk bones and a cow's ear. Jeez, Soto. He's got a little French bulldog in him. I don't know. That guy looks. I'm trying to edit as I talk.
Yeah, I was
It's
just
so
about
hard.
to say, how do you not curse?
I know.
Holy crap.
Oh,
God, that
do
was
people
fun.
even know who Colin Quinn is anymore?
Yeah. He knows Colin Quinn.
Jack, my son's here. Answered. You don't have any idea who Colin Quinn is now.
Jack has no idea.
He's
who Colin
20.
Quinn is.
Yes. So, but that was amazing.
Oh.
We missed the stuff when he's talking about being on set with Walken. That was my favorite part of the whole deal. Maybe we can put that. That's got to be like in the YouTube reel, Paulie, for later, because that was so good when he's talking about the story. I heard, Jay, your dog has no tail. Where did it go? It killed me. I mean, I've been saying it for 20 years since I saw him. It's
Well,
amazing.
you know who else does impressions and entertains is Mud Grant.
Mudley. Does he do impressions?
He does.
Yeah, I guess he
Harry
does.
Carey.
Yeah.
He's known for his
That's
Harry
true.
Carey impression.
Oh, he used to do the umpire impressions
yeah,
too. Remember?
He did those.
Oh,
yeah, when he was a
yes.
player, absolutely. Let's take our final timeout, and Mudcat will join us on a Friar Friday when we return. Ben and Woods on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. This hour 97.3 The Fan is brought to you by the Caltrans Stormwater Program. Visit cleanwaterca.com. Let's change this to that by picking up after our pets, reducing pesticide use, and regularly servicing our vehicles. Learn how at cleanwaterca.com. That's cleanwaterca.com from Caltrans Stormwater. And if I was our next guest's co-host, I would do a little paper snap of confidence right after
How does he do it?
that read. Yeah. This not, well, you got to you kind of fold it and then you
that
snap. You don't tear the paper, you just snap the paper. And that's the paper snap.
I do the double snap.
Confident. Ooh.
Like that?
I wonder if Don could pull off a double snap.
No, because it's my move now.
Trademarked move.
Trademarked.
Just quickly, we have 2 locals now near the top of the leaderboard at the U.S. Open. Xander is still at 8 under. He tees off later. Charlie Hoffman, 4 under today, 3
Mud's
under.
ready
for
to
the
go.
tournament.
Mud's ready, Ben.
All right, we'll get to Mud then after traffic. I thought you told me to wait. You
Mud's
said
ready.
I'm telling you now,
said
he's ready.
Stall for a minute
Mud's
or
ready.
two.
Mud's
and you
ready.
did,
Mud's
so
ready.
I
Mud's
go
ready.
to
Mud's
my
ready.
golf
Mud's ready. Mud's ready.
on my
Mud's ready.
stall.
Mud's
All right,
ready. Mud's
go to
ready.
Mud
Mud's
after
ready.
traffic here on 97.3 The Fan. And we go out to our Premier Chevrolet of Carlsbad fan hotline where Mark Grant gets to talk some golf with us this morning here on
He
97.3
hates
The
golf.
Fan.
He hates it.
Good morning, Mud.
Hi, Mud.
Overrated. By
Oh,
the way, there are things that people ask you if you could snap your fingers, what you could do to change in your life.
Yeah,
you know what
yeah.
my 3 are?
What?
Mine, speak a language fluently.
Yes.
I love the Spanish language. Play an instrument. I know you play the guitar. I would
Yep.
love to pick up an instrument and play. Thirdly, I've always had this fascination with impressionists. Growing up as a kid, like when Rich Little was on Johnny Carson,
Yep.
and of course I'm dating myself. But more recently, like Bill Hader, Jay Moore,
Yep.
I just find it phenomenal and so entertaining when people just nail impressions.
It's the best. He's the best.
And
Watching him do it is
yeah.
insane.
One of my favorites is obviously when people try to do Al Pacino, and it's like there's 3 stages of like Al Pacino during his career. There's like the Dog Day Afternoon. I'm dying here, Leon. I'm dying. You know, remember?
Yeah,
Scar
the
for
bank robbery?
Serpico, whatever. Yeah.
Oh, John Cassell, and I'm dying here, Leon. I'm dying. Well, how'd you complain? We'll go to Algiers. and then you've got, The Godfather, of course. Fredo, never pick sides against the family, right?
Yeah.
You ever?
Of course.
And then you've got the one where it's
Son
like,
of a woman.
yeah.
Son of a woman.
Just
yeah.
everyone walking around. "Hoo-ah! Hoo-ah!
Yeah.
Hoo-ah!" It drives me nuts.
One of my favorites is Bill Hader when he says, like, Al Pacino gets in an argument with a child. He says, "Liar, liar, your pants are on fire."
She got a great ass from Heat. It's my favorite. It's my
If I
favorite.
was 20 years younger, I'd take a flamethrower to this place. But not a stitch.
So good. No, Moore nails it, man. The walk-in too is just the creepiest,
Oh, my
craziest.
God, so good.
It's brilliant. Brilliant.
Some of the greatest dialogue is in Pulp Fiction when he prints the watch to
Yeah.
Butch.
This watch.
Yeah.
The watch.
this watch.
I carry this hunk of metal up for 20
It's
years.
your birthright. It's your birthright.
It's your birthright. And I'll be damned.
It's crazy.
That's so good.
Starting pitching, you need that bridge to the bullpen.
Did you heard his Soto stuff, didn't you?
I did.
Oh my
it was
God.
spectacular. Just spot on. So good.
Now, Mud, did you? You're legendary for your Harry Carey in Chicago.
Well-
Did you ever get to do it for Harry Carey?
I never did.
Yeah.
No, I spoke to Harry back in the day, but I was just, I was in awe. I mean, I'm not much of a, there are certain people that we meet in the course of our lifetime. It's like you really like and admire. And I was just, when I was always in the presence of Harry, I was like, just always respectful and just, enjoyed his company, but never in his presence did I ever drop an impression on him. So
That's how I feel about Don Orsillo. When I
Respectful and awe.
Yeah, when I When I pop by
Don
the
D'Angelo.
when I pop by the booth, Mud
Yeah.
always gives me a big. I just come pop by and say hello. I don't want to bust these guys' balls too much. They're working, But I pop.
Oh, yeah.
I walk in and Mud will always stand up, give me a big hug, and Don just looks up. How you doing, kid? And shakes my hand, and I walk out, and I'm just like, holy smokes, man! I'm in the presence of greatness here. He's also too good to come on our show, as you know. So it's fine. We appreciate and love you, man. You sounded great. You always do. You're such a part of our lives every single night, Mudley. And listen, been a lot more fun recently watching this squad at the Ball Yard every night than it had been.
Trending upward, I think. And Bob Melvin, you guys know as well as anybody that during this long season of baseball, you look at talent on paper and the phrase on talent. Oh, this team has, the talent on paper to do this. And, well, you got to go out and perform. And Bob Melvin, we talk to him every day, and he still firmly believes, he's spoken to the fans and the media, that this lineup is just too potent, that it can't have an upward tick. And I think we've seen, obviously, the past couple of weeks, we have seen that. You guys mentioned earlier, I was listening about, Tampa Bay Rays coming to town. Tough team. Yeah. Good ball club. McClanahan, Cy Young Award candidate.
Nasty.
But still, it's when you play these teams, which is key. And just because the guy's been pitching his tail off all season doesn't mean he can not have that one where he lays an egg. I always go, when people come up to me and they say, oh, look at this matchup, so-and-so versus so-and-so. Oh, we've got no chance. Oh, well, my go-to default is Darryl May versus Johan Santana in the Metrodome in the heyday of Johan coming off a Cy Young year. And it's like, whoa, we've got no chance in this game. We're in Minnesota. We're playing against Johan Santana. We got Darryl May. Who's Darryl May? Well, next thing you know, Dave Roberts hits one off the baggie. I forgot who else in that game did well. But anyway, the bottom line is Padres beat the Twins that day. They beat Johan Santana. So it sounds cliche. It sounds cliche, as Ted Leitner would say. I will use the proverbial cliche. But any given day, one team could beat another one. So,
I forgot about his Uncle Teddy. Yeah,
I forgot about his Uncle Teddy, too.
Here's the pitch. Ground ball, short, caught, over to first, in time for the out.
It's brilliant.
Mud, I have no, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, and with the Rays coming to town, as you guys mentioned towards the end of the trip, and the A's beat them 2 out of 3, right?
Yeah, 2 out of 4. They split to a 4-game series. They had 2 and 2.
2 out of 4. So hey, go to the ball game, watch the ball game, enjoy it, and you never know what's going to happen. That's what's great about our great sport of baseball.
Mud Grant is with us here on 97.3 The Fan on Ben and Woods, and I'm sure you interact with fans more than just about anyone walking around the ballpark. They love to say hi to you. I'm sure you see the comments. You're not on Twitter anymore, but they still get to you. Bob Melvin, he's an idiot. He doesn't know what he's doing. Clearly, the man is not an idiot. We've all met him. He's a very smart baseball guy, but you can disagree with some of the decisions. How do you deal with when you get the credit, when you hear the criticism of Bob Melvin? You don't have to agree with everything he does and every decision he makes, but we all know that he's a smart guy, good baseball man. He's got reasons for doing what he's doing out there, whether it's starting Ryan Weathers yesterday and Yu Darvish today, or calling for a bunt there in the 5th inning. He's got his reasons for sure.
Yeah, and I will say this two-part question. One is I'll talk about Bob Melvin first. The guy's prepared as anybody. When I walk in his office and talk to him, he's got matchups. He's got everything. There is nothing that he does not know about the team that he's playing, the pitching matchups, who's available, who's not available, who's kind of banged up a little bit, whatever the case may be. Prepared, yes. As far as the fans are concerned, that's what makes it great. Isn't that what makes sports great? I don't know anything about basketball or football or hockey or whatever, but if I'm the casual viewer, which sometimes I watch games, I'm like, what's this guy doing? What do I know? And the great Bob Chandler, who I love dearly and owe a lot to, he taught me something a long time ago. It was during a game, and we were talking after the game, and I said, gosh, Bob, what do you think's going on here with this? And he goes, well, you know what, Mud? He goes, there's something I learned a long time ago. He passed it on to me. He goes, he writes down MC, right? And I said, what's MC mean? He goes, manager's choice. He says, remember this. He goes, we can speculate, we can see, we see the big picture from the booth, or, we're in the dugout or we talk to people, but the manager knows. He's inside the clubhouse. He knows what's going on. He will know much more than we will ever know. being an announcer, and that's why he came up with the phrase "manager's choice." That's his choice. He knows more than we. He may not divulge what that reason is, but the bottom line is he knows it. But I think that's what's great about sports. We get a chance to, be that manager, be that coach. And,
Is it what's great about sports, or is it the worst thing ever, Bud?
I think it's great.
It's horrible. It's horrible.
Well, it's a subjective type of opinion, and if people want to get on Melvin, they want to get on me or whatever. Hey, you know what? That's your prerogative. That's straight Bobby Brown.
Straight
right there.
Bobby Brown. I was waiting.
Yeah, yeah. So that's just the way I view it. As I get older, I'm just kind of like, you know what? Does it really matter what people think as far as about Bob Melvin or me or Ben and Woods or whatever? No, but that's what makes it great. They get to voice their opinion, and that's their right to do so. And I just try to look at things as just have fun with it and enjoy it while we have it.
You guys do have fun every single night.
Thank you very much.
No
Thank you.
no fissures in the Padres broadcast booth. None whatsoever. Everything is moving along swimmingly.
Yeah.
No,
Fishers, what do you mean?
No fishers. Well, there's a report.
There's a fisherman.
There's a fisherman in there. There's a fisherman. The report a few weeks ago, fishers in the Padres clubhouse. And of course they're losing. You expect there to be fishers.
That happens with any team.
Mud, you've been in the locker room, and when you lost 5 in a row or can't seem to win 2 in a row, I'm sure there's a lot of fishers and finger pointing.
Oh, sure. But you know what, though? The good teams kind of just, whether the wins or the losses, we've talked about this many, many times before. If a team's really good like the Rays, I'm sure they win a ball game. It's the same as if they were to lose a ball game. But then again, there are more extremes. Gosh, I try to put myself in I can't put myself in that place. Mark Kotsay and the Oakland Athletics, when I got traded from the Giants to the Padres in '87, they were 12-42. 12-42. On pace to win 36 games for the year, right? It was a third of the way of the season, or a quarter of the way through the season, whatever the case was. And it was just horrible. You go out there and you try to win every game and do something to make a difference. But my gosh, that's part of the grind, not only physically but mentally. But the thing you want to try to avoid, we've mentioned this before too, is when you're on a bad streak and you're like, oh, here we go again. That's the last thing you want. And you try to avoid that. But this team, hey, you look in like I said, from the outside in, you look in the dugout, you look on the field. We're seeing some great things. Fernando, my gosh, how to be part of history and watch history the other day, boy, he's just been exciting. He's worth the price of admission from the time he steps in the batter's box and out in his playground out there in right field. Just you know what? And I'll say this in all honesty, he's getting better. It's going to take some time, but it's like sometimes he'll turn the routine play into a spectacular play.
Yeah,
and that's not a bad thing because still reading the ball in right field. It's a different read, and sometimes with that athleticism, he can make up the difference to where he makes the play and it makes it look exciting. So hey. Through time, I think he's just going to get better and better.
The one criticism, he sometimes tries to do too much out there, make a throw that's impossible. There's no way you're going to get that guy at the plate. Just throw it into the second baseman. Yeah, it happened last night.
Yeah. It happened last night.
You can comment on what we were discussing a little bit earlier. Do you think Fernando Tatis Jr. is the center fielder of the future for the San Diego Padres?
Oh, I can't. I mean, could he play center field? Absolutely. Is he the future? I can't. I don't want to play GM or speculate on that. I can't put my stamp on that or my opinion. The only thing I can say is that is he able to play center field? Yes, I think it's a great position, an easier position. I shouldn't say easier, but as far as reading the ball off the bat, I was talking to Rick Manning the other day with the Guardians. He played center field. He goes, "Oh, it's awesome in center field," because we were talking about Tatis. He asked me the same question: "Can he play center?" I said, "Yeah, he's played out there a couple of times." And he goes, "It's such a great position because you can see the trajectory of the pitch. You can see the pitch, the ball off the bat. You read the swing of the ball off the bat, and it's a better jump. Whereas in the corners, it's a little bit different." So, Woodsy, I'm gonna refrain from answering that question. I know you're trying to pin me in a corner.
That was Ben's question. That was Ben's question.
I'm not going to bite.
My question is
Woods would never ask such a tough and insightful question as that one.
Should AJ Preller keep his job? But I'm just kidding. Did you hear what Ben just said passive aggressively? He was been here for 2 days.
There's
this
nothing
week?
passive about it.
Wow.
Wow, good God.
Aggressive. All right. I'll be at the ball yard
Someone
tonight.
has to hold Mud's feet to the fire during
How
this
are you
interview.
How are you guys doing, by the way? How's life treating you?
Fantastic.
Really good,
Speaking
actually.
of Fishers, you should check out the Ben and Woods program from time to time. We're on the verge of signing a new deal, but I don't know that it's going to happen, Mud, if I'm being honest.
Oh, you really?
Yeah,
You need
we'll
an
see.
agent?
We'll see. I got an agent.
Do
Got
you?
an agent. Yeah. We'll see.
Really?
Yeah. I at this point, I think I'm going to ask for more money than Ben. We're even right now. We make the same money, but just with recent transpirings and things.
That's what he thinks.
Well, hey, think of it this way. I wish you guys nothing but the best. You guys know that. And I'm all about peace and love, right? Go to the studio each day and know that you brighten people's lives and you make them chuckle a little bit, maybe teach them a little something. And it's getting pretty deep because I'm talking about you guys.
So
I'm
do you,
so
buddy.
full of it,
Yeah,
I'm so full of
I know.
it
We
right
know.
now.
Feels like we're an after-school special.
We
now.
know that. We love you, pal.
ABC After School Special. Remember those? Oh my gosh.
Will you
Unbelievable.
give my love to Don Orsillo tonight? Now I will see you at
I
the
will.
ballpark. I will stop by and say hello.
Yeah, Donna Tangelo is the best. Hopefully a Padres victory tonight with the Rays in town.
Woo!
So
It's
go
gonna be a good
Friars.
one. Gonna be a good one.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
All right, bye guys.
Bye, Budley.
There's the Ted Leitner again for us.
Suck it.
Mark Grant on our Premier Chevrolet of Carlsbad fan hotline. Save money the right way with Premier Chevrolet of Carlsbad. Visit them today in the Carlsbad Auto Mall. Chevrolet, find new roads. I wasn't trying to insult you. You have a
That's very
rapport
insulting.
with our guests that I don't think I ever
People are texting me now.
I can never
Wow.
quite match the rapport that you have. So I have to carve my niche
with the tough
by
questions.
asking the harder questions.
Yeah, rapport is a gift. It is.
And you have it.
It's spelled weird.
Yeah, it's
Rapport.
Ian Rappaport. No,
What's the better way to spell it?
R-A-P-O-R-E.
Or R-A-P-O-R-E. Rapport.
Rapport.
Sure, there's a few hillbillies out there that spell it rapport.
R-A-P-O-U-R.
Yeah, rapport.
Rapport.
Rapport. All right.
Foster, we got a great rapper.
Hey, I'm making beers tonight. Got a great rapport. Hillbilly. Playing golf with him on Father's Day.
Well, you and I got a great rapper.
Rapper. We got a good rapper. What are you doing Father's Day, Benjamin?
I'm playing with actually my father-in-law.
Oh, nice.
Golf that morning.
Beautiful.
Yeah, got invited to a tournament that morning.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm playing early Sunday, and then we'll be home to hang out with my beloved kids. To all the dads out there, man, I know how hard you work. We appreciate you. It's the greatest gig in the world, being a dad. So shout out to my boys, Bo and Taylor. I think they're probably watching on YouTube right now. They're home from school.
Hi, Bo. Hi, Taylor.
Hi, Bo. Hi,
guys.
Tay. Dad is coming home soon. And man, being a dad is it's the greatest. My dad is in town. I love you, Dad. And I love all you dads out there. I know you guys grind and keep up the good work. Your boys and your girls need you.
Yeah. So we got 3 games against the Rays, and then we come back on Monday. The Padres will start a really critical series against the San Francisco Giants. 4 games up there in the Bay Area at Oracle Park against a team that's been pretty hot, that's holding on to one of the wild card spots, but is absolutely.
Here we go.
I think the Padres like 2.5 games behind, something right there. I mean, absolutely within striking distance. If the Padres have a good week here, said it yesterday, it's still true today, even though they lost. They'll be right where they want to be, going into next weekend. So important games this weekend, even bigger games when we come back on Monday against the San Francisco Giants. A quick 4-game road trip up to the Bay Area.
Yeah, well, I mean, God, I'd love to win this series. Keep winning series as best you can. Keep winning these series, and let's let the chips fall where they may. Really encouraged by what we're seeing. We got the right guys on the bump, I think, the next 3 nights, too, to get it done. So in Snell, Darvish, and Musgrove. So these are our horses. We need them to come through.
Potential World Series
good
preview.
measuring stick.
Yeah, really good measuring stick. Really, really good. I hate that term, but it's so applicable.
Yeah, right.
It's so applicable here.
I agree.
The measuring stick. All right, get us out of here with things Ben likes, Paulie.
Well, I don't think we have time for it. We are
Do we
at
not?
the end of the show.
God, blow that.
One thing I like a lot is my son Jack. Want to thank him for coming in and answering some phones and helping us out today. Hopefully that's going to be a regular feature this summer. Looking forward to it.
Just don't tell anybody in management about
right.
it, okay?
I'm sure that
Hey, guys.
we can't.
Hey,
He
guys.
needs to sign some paperwork. Paulie, good job this week. Thanks for covering for me when I was
Thanks
on
for gracing us
vacation
with your presence for
the
48
first 3
hours.
days. For Stephen Woods, I'm Ben Higgins. Coach John Quintero coming up next on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.